Orders.
I think we have unbelievable unity. I think we're going to get everything we want. And I think we're going to have a great victory.
He's also pledging again that Medicaid will be left alone, except for waste, fraud, and abuse. Democrats say cuts will end up stripping Medicaid benefits. Just getting word the U.S. Supreme Court is ordering the State House in Maine to restore the vote of a Republican lawmaker censured after a transgender teen athlete was identified online. The order's temporary as lower courts deal with the case. America is listening to Fox News.
Oh, no. 93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
The Lieutenant Governor's viewpoints. Light rain right now in Indianapolis. You might get more light rain this afternoon, or you might get strong storms. That's possible both this afternoon and this evening and overnight. Right now, it's 63 on Monument Circle. I'm Chris Davis. Here's what's trending at 3:02. You might not agree with Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith, but some people are giving him credit for taking on tough questions at a town hall Monday night.
Do you think that blacks tend to be mistreated at a vastly greater rate than whites?
No, not today.
That was one of the questions that Beckwith addressed, talking about race in Monroe County.
There's something that the left likes to push, that systemic racism still exists.
As you might expect, there were a lot of protesters outside this event. People also asked Beckwith what he thought about diversity, equity, and inclusion, to which he said people should be judged on their own merits. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A 5-year-old girl died in Indianapolis Monday, and her father was arrested. John Herrick reports.
IMPD says they got to a home on LaSalle Street near East Washington and North Rural Streets Monday morning, and they found a girl named Zara Arnold unresponsive with several injuries. Zara was pronounced dead at the scene. Child abuse detectives got there and interviewed her father, Zachary. They say they had enough evidence to arrest Zachary Arnold on preliminary charges of child neglect of a dependent and murder. The case is now in the hands of the Marion County Prosecutor's Office.
A lightning strike is believed to be responsible for the destruction of a house in New Albany about 5:30 this morning. The family who lived there was able to get out, but the resulting fire gutted the house top down. A man who killed himself inside a car while Terre Haute police and SWAT officers tried to talk him out has been identified as 42-year-old Michael L. Dowell of Terre Haute. Police say all that went down Friday when police tried to pull Dowell over. He wouldn't stop at first, then pulled over and threatened officers with a pistol at 21st in Cleveland. After Dowell committed suicide, they found meth and weed in his car. Dowell was on federal probation for possession of a firearm by a violent felon and possession of meth with intent to distribute. You've got traffic and weather in 1 minute.
Hammer and Nigel here for our friend Mark Dietl. Mark Dietl is the expert that maximizes quality and sells your home fast. So whatever your situation in life is, maybe you want a fast, guaranteed, no-hassle home sale, but you don't want to give up your hard-earned equity to do it. Or perhaps you're worried you need costly repairs or upgrades to sell your home. Whatever the situation is, Mark Dietl can deliver. Mark Dietl is the only real estate expert that we recommend here on the Hammer and Nigel show. Mark Dietl guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. You pick the move date, no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. Mark Dietl, the best in the business. Give him a call today, 317-755-4232. That's 755-4232, or go to markdietl.com. Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietl.com.
Traffic on 93 WIBC. Here's Matt Bear.
What's happening, Chris? Looking at inbound 65 stop-and-go traffic after 38th Kessler down to MLK. I have the camera up, and I see two semis and a car on the right shoulder. Let's call it a crash and a delay of 4 minutes. Northeast side, eastbound 465, jammed up after Westfield Boulevard past Allisonville Road. That's delayed by 18 minutes. Eastbound 72 downtown, slowing from Harding Street into the South Split, and northbound 65 south side slow from Raymond up to the South Split because of construction. Traffic sponsored by Speedway. Stop at Speedway and grab any size big and gulp for just 89 cents with Speedy Rewards. Summer is calling. Valid through 6/24/25 CF for full terms. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Cloudy skies today, rain and thunderstorms likely. Some of those storms could be on the stronger side. Temperatures will be in the mid and upper 60s. Tonight, scattered showers and storms end with lows near 60. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Chris Davis on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is out. Jeff Boggs is in. You can find him at Not Kenny Rogers on social media, longtime writer for the Letterman Show. Mr. Boggs, how are you?
I am doing great, Nigel. It's so good to be here. Good to have you back from vacation, and let's have a great show.
Yeah, man. Thanks for filling in last week. So much to get to. So many sporting. We got the Fever tonight. We got Pacer playoffs tomorrow. We got the Indy 500 this weekend. We got Carb Day coming up. A big piece of important, serious news took place last night at 12:46 a.m. Benjamin Ritchie died by lethal injection after spending nearly a quarter of a century sucking off the taxpayers. He's the guy that shot and killed Beech Grove police officer Bill Toney while he was fleeing from like a stolen vehicle back in 2000. Mm-hmm. So it's been 25 plus years. Finally, justice has been served. His final words were, quote, "I love my family, my friends, and all the support I've gotten. I hope they all find peace." I mean, he died a day before his 33rd birthday. I'm not talking about Officer Toney, that is. Yeah. He was shot and killed a day before his 33rd birthday, left behind a wife and 2 young kids. We talked to FOP president, Rick Snyder yesterday. Asked him how he felt about the execution of Benjamin Ritchie. At that point, Benjamin Ritchie hadn't died yet, and it's like we don't celebrate this kind of thing. We don't. It's not something that we take pleasure in, but we feel justice was served. And paraphrasing, Hammer, on the other hand, is a man that takes pleasure in this.
Yes.
He would dance on this guy's grave if he could.
He wants to air it on its own channel, I believe.
I believe he's long had this, Jeff. He's long had this idea of having an all execution channel, maybe a pay-per-view execution channel,
right?
And pairing it along with a 24-hour-a-day funeral channel.
Sure.
Has he told you about these genius ideas?
We have talked at length about it.
So I am glad that Benjamin Ritchie is gone. He definitely got what he deserved. His lawyer said he kind of twisted and turned, looked like he was in pain for like 3 or 4 seconds and then died. I don't know that I'm the kind of guy Hammer is where I'm dancing on graves and throwing parties and, releasing balloons.
Yeah, I think I'm more with you on this. It's obviously, anytime a life is lost, he took a life. I don't understand going back to why did the whole process take so long? When we talk about government waste, why in the world did that wait so long? And also, what a jerk, those final words, "I hope my friends and family find peace." Really? Isn't this the worst thing you could do to your family?
Well, he had certainly a different tone in the early 2000s when he was caught and he tattooed the badge number of the officer that he killed on his neck and taunted the family of the fallen officer. And he was on those reality MSNBC TV shows, Lockdown or whatever it's called, Life on Death Row. He certainly had a different attitude during the clemency hearings.
He was cocky. Yeah, he was.
But the clemency hearings last week, where he's asking for leniency and his life to be spared.
That's what.
Well, now I want to live, and I want to educate other people on what not to do with their life.
I mean, it happens. You spend 20 years in the old Gray Bar Hotel, and it gives you time to think about your actions. And there's so many kids today. You see the same thing, who are cocky to the judge, who. From what society tells them, no one can hold them down. And then you get in prison for a while, and guess what? People can hold you down. And that's what happened to old Benjamin Ritchie.
And in terms of the length of his, why it took so long for him to be executed, part of it was the state of Indiana was not able to procure certain elements of the drug, the cocktail that would kill him. There were pharmaceutical companies that would not sell us the state the drug. Have you not heard this?
No,
this
sodium
before?
pentothal or something.
Oh,
Really?
I don't know what it is. I'm sure it's cocktail for sure, but it was we could not procure those the drugs that they needed specifically for lethal injection. Now, I don't know about you. I just had a colon. You fill it in for me when I had my colonoscopy the other day.
Yes,
that put me to sleep just like that. And then what happens after I go to sleep? What's the difference?
Right.
You know what I mean?
But you could
so my point being that you don't need what exactly do you need after the guy goes to sleep? You know what I mean?
It could be the Michael Jackson. Give him propofol. Can we get propofol?
That's what I took. Propofol.
There you go.
Give him copious amounts of propofol, and he ain't waking up.
Huh. That's really that sounds more like government interference than actually not being able to get your hands on a drug.
I'm sure that was part of it, but he is gone officially as of 12:46 a.m. Moving on. National news. Some people were shocked by this. I was glad to hear the Trump administration paying out nearly $5 million to the family of Ashley Babbitt. Remember her?
Yep.
The Trump supporter who shot and killed point blank range, unarmed, January 6th.
The only person killed on January 6th.
The only civilian killed on January 6th. The myth, there was some rumor that a cop had been hit over the head with a fire extinguisher. Not true.
Yep.
The only person died. And apparently, a lot of Democrats had problems with this. And, Tony Katz said it best today. Democrats were okay with this police shooting.
Right. Yeah.
Democrats were totally on board with the shooting of Ashley Babbitt on January 6th there in the House. And nothing happened to the... Just think of it this way, Boggs. I mean, you rise to 2020, the summer of love. You're a cop. You're being overtaken by a mad riotous mob in a police precinct. Somebody unarmed just comes in and they open fire. They would have held rallies for that guy.
Yeah.
They would have held rallies for the person that was in the precinct, even if they were unarmed, but had to. And Ashley Babbitt didn't get so much as a mention.
Yeah, people had a problem with this when it happened at Kent State. If you remember, the unarmed protesters.
That's an interesting comparison.
They really were upset. But my goodness, that poor family, when you look at what they've gone through, how great is it that we now have, people in power who are going to pay that family, give them their money, and even more importantly, Kash Patel, at some point, is going to focus on January 6th, because there's just way too much information now, way too much proof that wasn't all it was cracked up to be.
But like I go back to Tony Katz saying today, the Democrats were okay with this police shooting and killing. In fact, here is Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries, election denier Hakeem Jeffries, on the payout of $5 million to one Ashley Babbitt.
The Chief of Police of the United States Capitol Police Force clearly and plainly said, and I support the position, that the settlement was a slap in the face to the hard-working, courageous, and brave men and women of the United States Police Force, and appears solely the result of a political determination that Donald Trump and Republicans are going to try to whitewash what happened on January 6th.
Just reverse it. Just again, reverse it. I mean, all of a sudden, Democrats are okay with police officers shooting unarmed civilians at point-blank range.
Well, and Hakeem said whitewash, which I believe is racist.
Right.
I believe that is racist.
I noticed that. Do we want to hit traffic and then do the game with Ashley?
Yes.
Let's okay, yeah. Let's
Nigel?
Yes.
Nigel.
What?
You just called me Ashley.
Allison.
Nigel, Nigel, this is the second time since I've worked with you that you've called me Ashley.
Why? Was there?
I don't think we were talking about Ashley Babbitt before.
I don't know why before. But
you're so lucky there was an Ashley in a news story.
Yeah, that's why I did it.
Yeah, that time.
That's why I did it.
Brother, my feelings are so hurt right now.
Oh, Matt Bear, what's going on?
Thank you, Nigel. Looking at southbound 6570. I don't want to get in the middle of that. Crash southbound 6570 at Washington Street. Street, and that's blocking the right shoulder. And slowing us down back to Michigan Street. It just happened, and the delay is just forming up, but it's going to be there. Inbound 65 slows after 29th to Meridian Pad. Eastbound 70 slow from West Street to the south, split it on the north side. Eastbound 465 stopped after Westfield Boulevard to Allisonville Road. That's sitting on a delay of 18 minutes right now. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping and code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
We're going to play a game with Allison next. Yeah, this was Jeff Boggs' idea. I love it, and it all ties together with a certain anniversary. So we'll do that next. It's 62 and rain at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center, 93 WIBC.
What if the next time you painted your home was the last time you painted your home?
Our Rhino Shield has been on for 8 years.
Rhino Shield. Call 888-RHINO-41. Don't paint, don't vinyl. Go Rhino.
You've heard about Terry Bush at R&R Agency for a long time. How easy he is to work with, and how he'll find you the best insurance coverage at the best rate. Now hear from one of his clients.
Hi, Terry. Just wanted to touch base with you and let you know I got your email yesterday, and just wanted to say thank you for all of your help. This has been one of the easiest things that I've done in transitioning to my new job. So of all the things that have been going on lately, you've made this quite easy. So I do appreciate all your help, and thank you again.
Terry has been helping people for over 35 years. If you're retiring early, self-employed, or need small group insurance, call 317-563-0868. That's 317-563-0868. Or go to rragency.org. rragency.org. As always, God bless America. Peace through strength and common sense government.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Stylin'. Or possibility number 24, the latest software. Upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
In 6/22/25, new customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
Many nonprofits struggle with staffing issues, but through the Senior Community Service Employment Program, or CSEP, 501(c)(3)s with limited budgets can get cost-free supplemental employees while helping train people 55 and over for a new career. Trainees are motivated, reliable employees, and their wages are completely covered by the Indiana Department of Workforce Development. To learn more, go to backtowork.dwd.in.gov. That's backtowork.dwd.in.gov.
You ready to build your custom dream home? Check out Joyner Homes, based out of Greenfield. See one of their model homes in person anytime. It is a great way for you to experience the customization and quality of a Joyner Homes custom-built home. Plus, you can meet with a new home specialist to learn about their building process. Available lots if you don't already have one. Find out about floor plans and where they build. Model homes are open 7 days a week from noon to 5, and walk-ins are welcome. Find out more at joynerhomes.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to save.
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
Technology Recyclers is the safe and ethical choice for your computer and electronics recycling. R2 certified, 100% landfill free, guaranteed destruction of data, and absolutely free pickups. Visit tech-recyclers.com.
Heat and cool places where ductwork won't fit using Mitsubishi electric ductless mini splits. You can even wrap them to match your decor.
Find out more at absolutecomfort.org.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Absolute Comfort, your American standard Mitsubishi electric ductless mini splits dealer.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got.
The Hammer and Nigel Show. My name is Nigel. Jeff Boggs filling in for Hammer. This day, 1993, the Cheers finale aired. And from what I understand, it was huge. It was a huge finale that, let me see here.
Are you shocked by this?
No, I'm not shocked, but like, God, what was it?
I would guess 45 million viewers. That would be my guess.
I should have typed this in.
Yeah, I would guess 45. And if you remember, right after the show, they did Jay Leno, because Jay was there with the whole cast. And, you know, Cheers was, when you talk about the pantheon of some of the biggest shows in history, Cheers has got to be a top 10.
I would say it's just a little before my time in terms of sitcoms that I watched, but now I can go back and appreciate it.
Really?
For sure.
I'm surprised by that.
You know, in the late 80s, early 90s, I was watching Alf and you know, Dukes of Hazzard, and things of that nature. The Wonder Years, that may have been a little around that area.
You know what got tough for me was the last few years. Cheers was on Thursday night. It was the must-see TV Thursday night. All of a sudden, Fox decided to put 90210 up against Cheers. And I was, you know, in college at the time, and a lot of people, it was the younger show. So, yeah, but Cheers from beginning to end was a great TV show.
93 million viewers.
Oh, I was
93 million viewers.
Wow.
40% of the United States population. So you have a quiz here for Allison and I.
I do, but you said 93 million viewers for
Yes.
Cheers finale.
Yes.
Last week, the Connors, the old Roseanne show, the Connors had their finale.
Sure.
Guess how many viewers? 3 million. 3 million.
How times have changed.
That's how much it's changed. Allison, did you watch Cheers?
I've seen maybe an episode or two, but that's it. So no.
Okay, well,
younger than us.
This will be interesting. Nigel didn't watch it. He was busy watching Alf. Allison wasn't even born, basically.
I mean, I was a junior in high school.
You're just a guy watching Alf. I love that. Here's what'll be interesting. I think a lot of today's shows absolutely blow, but I think the shows from the 80s and 90s still live on. I think people know. Allison, let's find out how much you know about Cheers, even though you haven't seen a ton of episodes. Okay, I'm going to ask you 7 trivia questions about Cheers. Nigel, you have to guess the over-under I'm putting at she'll get more than 3.5 right.
I think she'll get more than 3. I think she'll get 4. Yeah.
You think she'll get 4 or more?
Yeah.
I really don't know.
Okay, well,
and then if you don't answer them, I'll try to answer them. I don't know if I'll get it.
I think you'll get 6 out of 7.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
Let's start it off with the first one, and if you listen to the play-in music, you'll know this. Finish this line to the theme song. Making your way in the world today. You just heard it.
Wow.
I literally was not even paying attention.
Here, maybe this will help.
I just hear the little the piano part at the beginning.
Oh, come on. Making your way in the world today.
Takes a lot of patience.
No. I'm revising the over-under.
Oh,
I'm revising.
No. Everyone's screaming at me through their radios.
Nigel, what is it?
Takes everything you got.
Exactly. Yeah. Takes everything you got.
Including patience.
Oh, dear. Okay, 0 for 1.
Okay, yikes.
0 for 1.
Start.
Okay, this one you have to get.
Okay.
Number 2, Woody Harrelson joined the cast of Cheers during the show's 4th season after the death of Nicholas Colasanto, who played Coach. What state was the character Woody from?
I do know this. Indiana.
There
Ding,
you
ding, ding,
go.
ding, ding.
Right.
Nice.
Phew.
Phew. All right, one of two.
Indiana college. What college did he say he went to?
Hanover.
That's right.
Hanover. All right, here we go. Number 3. Who was the wife of Dr. Fraser Crane?
I actually am rewatching Frasier right now for the first time. Lilith.
Bing!
I wouldn't have gotten Lilith. I know who you're talking about.
BB Newirth.
Lilith. There is a. I'm reading this story right now. How there is a case to be made that Frasier is a better show than
No way.
Cheers.
There's no way.
There's a big argument.
All right,
discuss later.
Allison,
Go
you
ahead.
have 2 of 3 right
Okay, I'm feeling a little better now.
Number 4. Bartender Sam Malone was a relief pitcher for which Major League Baseball team?
Oh, shoot.
Think it through.
I can't even if I could name 5 baseball teams now.
Where is Cheers set?
It's in Boston. Who plays Boston? Who's Boston?
Oh,
the Red Sox?
There you go.
Boom. 3. Allison,
Is that 3?
You're 3 out of 4
my
right
gosh.
now. Not knowing the
sweating.
theme song that you just heard. You're 3 out of 4. Here we go. Number 5. And this is just going to be a lucky guess, unless you watch the show. Which one of these celebrities appeared as themselves on Cheers? Was it Pat Sajak, Alex Trebek, Chuck Woolery, or Bob Barker?
Oh, those are some good ones. I'm going to go with Bob Barker. Oh.
Alex Trebek.
No
I
clue.
I was
Would not
close.
have
The
got
game
that.
host. That's funny.
Cliff appeared on Jeopardy.
Oh my gosh.
Cliff Clavin.
And things went horribly wrong.
That's great.
That's okay.
Go back and watch that episode.
You're still fine. You're 3 out of 5 right now.
All right.
We need to get these last 2. And rats, you're not going to get them. Here we go. Number 6. Where did Frasier and Diane originally meet?
Oh,
yeah, I don't know about that one.
I don't know either. He's a psychiatrist, so I'm guessing maybe a psychiatrist's office.
We'll take it. We'll take it. It was a mental facility called Golden Brook Mental Facility. Dr. Frazier was a psychiatrist. Diane was a patient.
Have we hit the over?
That is 3, I believe.
Oh, okay. That's only 3.
You have to get the last one. Okay. Here we go. Number 7.
Cheers trivia. The Cheers finale on this day back.
You
in
can do this.
93.
No, wait. The over/under was 4.5, right?
I thought you said
No,
3
you
and a
said
half.
Oh, 3.5. Okay, so technically you already have it.
Okay. Yeah.
But here we go. The last one. Waitress Carla Tortelli married hockey player Eddie LeBecq during season 6. How did Eddie die on the show?
He's a hockey player?
Mm-hmm.
Did he just take a puck to the face?
Unfortunately, no. He died in a Zamboni accident while wearing a penguin costume.
Oh, how could I miss that one?
But there are people listening right now screaming, how don't you know how Eddie LeBecq died? Allison,
I wouldn't have not have got that one either, man.
You would have gotten 5 out of 7, I think, Nige.
I would have gotten 5 out of 7. Did not know about the Zamboni thing or Cliff Clavin on the Jeopardy
All right,
episode.
good job, Allison. You did it.
Hey, if anything, I knew more about Frasier than anything.
It's a Hammer and Nigel show.
Hey, it's Rob for Universal Windows Direct, and May is officially the kickoff to home improvement season. And right now, during their home improvement season sale, you'll get an incredible 50% off your windows. Yes, half off. You heard right. You can upgrade your home with beautiful energy-efficient windows for half the cost. But it gets even better. For a limited time, you'll get no interest and no payments for 12 months. That's a whole year to enjoy your new windows before you pay a single cent. And here's the cherry on top. You'll receive a free entry door with your window purchase. Now, some restrictions may apply, so to get all the information and schedule your free in-home estimate, call Universal Windows Direct today at 317-659-7574, 317-659-7574. Universal Windows Direct's home improvement season sale. Half off your windows, no interest, no payments for 12 months. 317-659-7574. Tell them Rob sent you.
Millions of illegal aliens crossed our southern border under Biden administration policies. But now, things are changing. This is your Congressman, Jefferson Shreve. I'm committed to securing our borders and to protecting our Hoosier communities. I'm delivering for you. Because of Republican leadership, illegal border crossings are at an all-time low. I'm leading the charge to complete the southern border wall and deport illegal aliens. I'm fighting for Indiana and working for you in Congress.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Attention, Indiana homeowners. Are you tired of avoiding your wet basement? Hi, I'm Mike Smith with Swainco Crawl Space and Basement Repair, your real, local, Indiana family-owned experts. Imagine all the possibilities of a guaranteed dry basement. a cozy new family room, a home gym, or even a new office. And with no interest, no payment financing, you don't have to break the bank to do it. Make the most of your basement today. Call Swanco 317-407-1868 or SwancoLLC.com.
The doctor's office that accidentally mixed up your files has your social security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info. And the hotel that lost your reservation has your passport number. You need LifeLock because your personal info is in endless places that can expose you to identity thieves. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
An Indy man arrested for a rape 28 years ago. Light rain and 63 degrees on Monument Circle with the possibility of strong storms this afternoon, but especially this evening and tonight. I'm Chris Davis. Here's what's trending. May 29th, 1997. A woman was sexually assaulted on a trail in Shove Park on Fort Wayne's northeast side. The perp grabbed her from behind, dragged her into the weeds, held a knife to her while he beat and raped her. The man was not caught until a hit from the DNA evidence gathered back then in a rape kit flagged a man named David Mark Kerner in March. Police from Fort Wayne traveled to Indianapolis Tuesday, where Kerner now lives, and made the arrest. He's now in the Allen County Jail. President Trump today announcing plans for the Golden Dome missile defense system. Fox's Jennifer Griffin.
This is something that the president has been talking about since he took office. He signed an executive order when he took over on January 20th, asking for Defense Secretary Hegseth to come back to him with a plan in 60 days. This announcement is coinciding with very tense budget negotiations, of course, on Capitol Hill. The president has been very impressed with the Iron Dome system. That's the missile defense system that protected Israel from short and medium range missiles fired from Iran last year. That missile defense shield protected the population of Israel, but Israel is the size of New Jersey. This would be much larger and be space-based for the United States.
It's the Diddy trial. His ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura's mother, taking the witness stand today. Fox's CB Cotton reports from New York City that Combs demanded $20,000 or he would release sexually explicit videos of Ventura. At least that's the testimony.
She said she took out a home equity loan to pay for the demand, and about 4 to 5 days later, the money was returned. Diddy's defense team declined to cross-examine her. Diddy's former assistant, David James, also wrapped up his testimony. He said he worked for Diddy from 2007 to 2009, but never witnessed Diddy get physically violent towards Cassie. But he said he eventually came to fear for his own life after watching Diddy and the rapper's security guards armed themselves, looking to confront one of Diddy's rivals, Suge Knight. James said after the ordeal, he put in his 6-month notice. CB Cotton, Fox News.
Traffic and weather in 1 minute.
You know exactly why you need to remodel that kitchen of yours. The space, it's outdated. You can't move around like you used to. It doesn't work like it needs to. You want to entertain and you want to improve your quality of life. This can happen, just not with the kitchen you have. You need to call Booher Remodeling. B-O-O-H-E-R. BooherRemodeling.com. They can take that old kitchen that's deteriorating and broken down and turn it into something that works for you and your family. Their 5-step design process from start to finish, the consultation, the preliminary design, the design development, getting all the documents together, and then getting it done. The best materials, the most skilled craftsmen in Central Indiana. Booher Remodeling will guide you through the entire process, starting with the free initial consultation, and they stand behind their work with a 2-year workmanship guarantee. Create that new kitchen. Design experts can use an existing layout or begin completely from scratch. Talk to Booher Remodeling today. B-O-O-H-E-R. BooherRemodeling.com. That's BooherRemodeling.com.
Traffic on 93 WIBC. Here's Matt Bear.
Downtown crash slowing us down, Chris, at southbound 6570 at Washington Street. 2 right lanes are closed and traffic is slammed through the north split onto westbound 70. And that delay stretches almost to Rural Street. It is growing at the moment. Eastbound 70 stop and go traffic from West Street into the south split. Inbound 65 slow roll kept at 29th to Meridian Penn. North side eastbound 465 stop and go Westfield Boulevard Boulevard past Allisonville Road. And inbound 69 slow from 96th Street down to 82nd. Traffic sponsored by Indiana Donor Network. This may be a hero at the finish line. Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives remind you to say yes to organ donation the next time you're at the BMV. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Remain weather aware from 5 to 11 p.m. this afternoon and tonight, as there is a level 2 to 5 slight risk for severe storms. Winds the main hazard, but large hail and isolated tornadoes are also possible, as we'll track a cluster of showers and storms. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Chris Davis, on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
All right, real quick, because I wanted to get to this Caitlin Clark thing. She has now weighed in on the alleged inappropriate fan conduct that happened against the Chicago Sky a couple of days ago involving Angel Reese. Caitlin Clark has commented on that. We'll get to that in just a second. But I wanted to just mention real quick that Donald Trump is meandering around Capitol Hill today to, opening doors, looking in on congressmen. What do you think about my big, beautiful bill? What do we think? Can we get it passed? Which the big, beautiful bill is, I don't want to get in the weeds, really. I don't know. It's tax proposals and spending cuts, but there's reforms for federal programs. And here's Donald Trump kind of bragging about it today. And what
the economy is good. I just had my highest poll numbers ever. And we had a big trip to the Middle East. We took in $5.1 trillion. We brought it back to our country. 180 Boeing aircraft are being built now because of that trip, and many other things. That's the least of it. The economy is doing great. The stock market's higher now than when I came to office, and we've taken in hundreds of billions of dollars in tariff money, and we've had no inflation. They kept saying inflation. There's no inflation. Groceries are down. Gasoline is way down. Way down. Everything is down. All energy costs are down.
So Jeff, I'm listening to that, and I'm sitting there wondering to myself. Play the very beginning one more time. He's mentioned the
economy is good.
The economy is good. That was the main, really kind of the main purpose of that entire thing. Is like, look, we're doing well here. Let's pass this big, beautiful bill. Let's keep things going. But I thought, you and I were texting earlier this morning.
Too early.
Way early. I thought the economy was crashing.
Right. Wasn't it like 5 weeks ago where we saw headlines? These tariffs are coming. This will end our country as we know it. We'll be wearing sackcloth, and everyone will be sharing one box of ramen noodles. Lo and behold, I believe 8 of the last 9 days, the stock market has gone up. It's up 3,700 points over where it was when he, last year. And the biggest thing I learned from this whole tariffs and China and stock market crash, biggest thing that I learned was that China needs us way more than we need them, because their entire country was in a panic by what we did. And so that has, on the world stage, that now makes people realize we still run things, and you better get in line. So I don't know if the stock market went down 80 points today or whatever. I haven't looked lately, but it keeps going up, and things are good. The question's going to be, do we now have people in Congress who can pass these beautiful bills, or are we just going to get stuck doing nothing?
Guys like Representative Thomas Massey out of Kentucky, quote, "The big, beautiful bill will add $20 trillion of federal debt over 10 years, and that's according to the authors of it. But there's another huge problem. It will increase the price of the $36 trillion of debt we already have, as bond buyers realize we aren't fiscally responsible." So we have these spending hawk holdouts, as they call guys like Massey, and then we have other people who want more, who want even more tax cuts.
Yeah, but Massey, if you're against it, that's fine. If you have a real reason to be against it, but you have to offer a solution. You can't just be like, we're not going to spend money on things. There are certain things I'm fine going into debt over, as long as it's improving the country. Yeah. I don't want to go in debt over transgender mice research. But
which is a real thing.
Which is real. Yeah. But if it means filling the potholes on 465, which almost took me out this morning, I'm all for it.
We'll move to the WNBA Fever pregame, by the way, starting tonight at 6:45, right here on 93 WIBC, cutting into our show tonight with Eddie Garrison. Game starts at 7 at home. I believe they're playing the Atlanta Dream tonight.
Okay.
So 6:45 right here on 93 WIBC is where you can hear the Fever game. There's still this whole incident going on, this investigation from the regular season opener at home with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and people shouting inappropriate things. I've heard. I don't think I've heard the word racism come out of like any NBA official's mouth or WNBA official's mouth.
Oh, I think
I've heard inappropriate conduct.
No, I've heard racism.
You have heard racism.
Yes,
Okay.
because otherwise, what's
the point?
What's the issue? You jerk! Ooh.
Caitlin Clark has finally weighed in on some of the this investigation that's ongoing, and we're going to get down to the bottom of what was said, who said it, and what was said during this game against her rival.
There's no place for that in our game. There's no place for that in society. And, certainly we want every person that comes into our arena, whether player, whether fan, to have a great experience. So I appreciate the league doing that. I appreciate, the Fever organization has been at the forefront of that since, really day one and what they're doing. So we'll, hopefully the investigation, we'll leave that up to them to find anything and take the proper action if so.
You seem to have a problem with that.
I have
I'm not sure I really have a problem with it.
I have a massive problem. When she says the word that, there's no place for that. What's the that? Somebody has to explain to
has she heard anything is the question.
Well, no, she said she did not hear anything because the crowd was so loud.
Yes.
So apparently Angel Reese and her teammates have superpower hearing and must have been able to be at a different frequency. This happens all the time. We've been through it with the NASCAR, the noose. Oops, it turned out to be a garage pull. The Colorado Rockies had that horrible incident where someone was yelling out racial slurs. Oops, it turned out their mascot is named Dinger. And some dad holding his kid was trying to get Dinger's attention. Major League Baseball put out an apology before that came to light. The BYU volleyball game where racial slurs were being hurled at players.
Total hoax.
Except there were 7,000 people in attendance with cell phones and not one person was able to capture that. Yet again, this is an overreaction. If you want to call it racist that Caitlin dropped a triple-double and we won by 30, fine. If you want to call that racist. Nobody in Gamebridge is paying $500 for a ticket yelling out racial slurs.
But I don't think it's about black or white. Let's skip to Stephen A. Smith.
He doesn't talk about racism at all.
But the point is that these two women don't like each other, and it's a rivalry, and it goes back to college, and Stephen A. Smith says the rivalry is not about black or white.
It's not about black and white. It's about that white player and that black player. Why? Because of the history that they had before they came to the WNBA. But I have never deemed that to be a bad thing. I love that kind of confrontation. I love that kind of heat. But there are white folks in America that had a problem with Angel Reese coming at the chosen one, Caitlin Clark, that way.
Yeah. So he did invoke race a little bit there. The white folks had a problem with Angel Reese.
Well, people
coming after Caitlin Clark, even in college when she was imitating Caitlin Clark's trash talking with the holding up the 5 fingers or whatever.
Well, if people want to call it a rivalry, at some point, Angel Reese has to get better at basketball.
In that clip, I shortened the clip. I didn't put it all in context, but he commented on, boy, Angel Reese she sure is a great rebounder. She can rebound the hell out of that
She
bar.
is a good rebounder.
She is.
Yeah, but
she's not as good as Caitlin Clark is a better all-round
Exactly. And the good
player.
thing is Stephen A. Smith, of course, we all know, he's never prone to hyperbole when it comes to racism. So that's good to know. I will say this, to put a button on it, if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. We must stop at nothing to find the people who are not committing these racist hate crimes.
We will stop at nothing. We will get down to the bottom of this. Keep listening. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show When it comes to your furnace, when it comes to your air conditioning, when it comes to home maintenance, we only deal with American Standard Heating and Air because they are built to a higher standard. Here is Hammer to tell you about one of those awesome local independent American Standard dealers right here in Central Indy.
How about Family Heating and Air? The Morris family and their staff ready to hook you up this summer. You could call Rachel, you could call Marcus, or you could call Malia today to make sure that AC unit is rocking and rolling and ready for the hot air that's coming later in the summer. Family Heating and Air always encourages you to call them for a free second opinion. So if you got a quote from somebody else, it doesn't look right, call Family because nobody cares for you like Family. 317-577-8077. Ask about that indoor air quality as well. 577-8077. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. American Standard Heating and Air, built to a higher standard.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
Pat Sullivan here with exciting news from my friends at Hope Plumbing, now known as Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Hope now offers plumbing, heating, and air conditioning services, bringing total comfort to your home. No more dealing with multiple home service memberships. For only $8 a month, Hope is now your one-stop for safety and maintenance inspections and so much more. Make sure you're prepared for those Indiana summer heat waves with an AC tune-up by calling Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling today at 641-HOPE.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small, loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Bluebell Groom's Cake Ice Cream is renewing its vows on the frozen aisle. Milk chocolate ice cream with chocolate cake pieces, chocolate-coated strawberry hearts, swirls of strawberry sauce, and chocolate icing. See you at the reception.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell Ice Cream at your local grocer and pick up your favorite flavor today.
Heat and cool your man cave, attic, garage, or bonus room without adding ductwork with Mitsubishi Electric ductless mini splits.
To find out more, just go to absolutecomfort.org.
This May, you can be a hero at the finish line. Say yes to organ donation and talk to your family about your decision. A message from Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives.
Recovery is a journey, and no one walks it alone. The Supporting Sobriety podcast helps friends and families understand addiction, offer support, and care for themselves along the way. Hosted by Matt Baer and Ryan Hedrick. Find it wherever you get your podcasts.
Matt Baer, what's going on?
Nigel, southbound 6570, Clarice at Washington Street, blocking 2 right lanes. It says it's jammed up through the north split. We're back to Rural Street on westbound 70. That delay is going to run us about 15 minutes right now. And inbound 65 is jammed up from 29th Street all the way down to that crash site at Washington Street. We are looking and a 14-minute delay there. Eastbound 70 slow to downtown from Belmont into the South Split. Northeast side inbound 69 a little bit slow after 106th Street down to 82nd. Traffic sponsored by Indiana Donor Network. This May, you can be a hero at the finish line. Say yes to organ donation and talk to your family about your decision. A message from Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
62 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center, 93 WIBC. Jeff Boggs is filling for Hammer, and I cannot believe we were just talking about Cheers today, this day on 1993. It's a Cheers finale. Like 90 million people watched. We did the quiz, the Cheers quiz with Allison, and this news just coming in that George Wendt, who played Norm, dead at the age of 77. Wow! Like, I'm just reading. This is a article in the Hollywood Reporter from 6 minutes ago. Norm from Cheers dead at the age of 77. George Wendt dying peacefully in his sleep at home. Wow! I like, we were literally, we had that quiz going on.
We were just reminiscing.
Yeah, just about, the show, and now all of a sudden, bad news for Norm.
You almost have to, one of my favorite Norms, obviously the running joke of Norm would walk into the bar and everybody goes, Norm!
Yeah.
And then he'd have a funny line. My favorite was Norm goes, it's a dog-eat-dog world, and I'm wearing milk-bone underwear. And that was just, he was very funny. He was also in Fletch, if you remember.
Fat Sam. He was Fat Sam.
Fat Sam. And
just hung out on the beach all day and got drugs for people.
Yeah, just a really funny guy, incredible show. Listen, not to be insensitive, but you hope he wasn't listening to the quiz, right? That we did last.
I don't think so.
Well, you never know. He's from Chicago.
He said he died in his sleep.
Was he?
He died last night. He's probably been dead for hours and hours.
Well, if that's
true, I do find it very strange.
Yeah.
That we were just talking about that, and this is the anniversary of the last of the finale of the series. He also played he was in this movie called House. Did anybody remember House?
No.
Do you not remember House with actor William Catt, the greatest American hero? It was a horror movie, scared the crap out of me when I was a kid back in '85. Played in he was in the movie Gung Ho with Michael Keaton.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember the guy that he was Buster in Gung Ho?
Okay.
Who lost his gig at the Japanese automobile industry came in and took over, and he was one of the characters, one of the side characters there.
Well, I'll tell you, I think George Wendt, from everything I know about him, what a great life, a long life, a hit show, multiple movies. Seemed like a good guy, and had we known this, maybe Allison would have tried harder on the quiz.
Okay.
You missed.
I did that.
You
bad.
missed the theme. You missed the theme.
Yeah, that was not my greatest moment.
Oh man, okay.
Gone too soon.
Let's give away the Indy 500's officially sold out, but we got some free tickets. So which we still got the 239-9393 number.
Yeah, it's
is that we're using? We're still using. So caller 9 right now, 239-9393. You got to put the 317 in front of it, right? I'm so confused.
Should I give the numbers out in order?
Yeah, do that.
317-239-9393, 317-239-9393. Caller number 9 right now.
Carb Day tickets still available. Legend Day tickets still available. Indy 500 Snake Pit wristbands still available. But the reserve seats for the Indy 500 sold out. But you can get it for free right now. 317-239-9393. We'll be back. I use my garage a lot. Probably like you, I work out of my garage. There is tons of kids' toys, the bikes, everything's in there, the TV, the beer fridge, but the garage floor was lacking. It was horrible. It had been chipped away in certain places. It was stained. It was uneven. I'm like, time for Galaxy Concrete Coatings. No question about it. Her Casey Daniels bragging about how she got a new coating in her garage. I was like, she ain't having all the fun. My new Galaxy Concrete garage floor coating is out of this world. In fact, I just had him back to do the concrete in the utility room in my basement. It looks fantastic. Check out GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com or call them 751-9070.
You probably have a dream retirement in mind, but do you know how to get there? The difference between dreaming and living your ideal retirement comes down to having the right plan. And that's where Howard Bailey Financial can help. At Howard Bailey Financial, we've created a free retirement toolkit to help you bridge the gap between where you are now and where you want to be. Text DREAM to 888-262-1104 to download your free retirement toolkit that includes a retirement checklist, Social Security decisions guide, estate planning guide, and more. We want your dream retirement to be your reality. And it starts by texting DREAM to 888-262-1104. Let us help you take the next step toward the retirement of your dreams. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
The month of May is here, so start your search engines and go to indianaunclaimed.gov to claim your money today. You have cash waiting for you at indianaunclaimed.gov. Right now, the Attorney General's office is reuniting Hoosiers with over $1 million in unclaimed property every single week. This isn't a boat or a car or contents of a storage locker. This is your money, your cash that's actually waiting for you. It could have been a deposit that you forgot you were supposed to get back, or a dividend from a stock. It could have been an insurance claim. There are a whole series of reasons why you have money waiting for you. Well, the Attorney General has those dollars, and you can search it up fast, easy, and free at indianaunclaimed.gov. Victory Lane is just one claim away at indianaunclaimed.gov. Search for yourself, your family, and your business this May. Text my name, Tony, to 46220 or visit indianaunclaimed.gov. indianaunclaimed.gov. Now go get your cash.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
It's the Bash Sale, the biggest automotive sale in history. Your local Bill Estes dealerships are coming in hot with deals on trucks you don't want to miss. We have a huge selection of trucks at one easy online stop. Brand new Chevy, Ford, GMC, Jeep, Ram, and Toyota trucks with a massive pre-owned selection too. Plus, our fair and direct upfront pricing means what you see is what you pay. Shift into savings during the Bash Sale, only at Bill Estes dealerships, and drive away in your dream truck today. Online at BillEstesTrucks.com.
Hi, this is Denny Smith for LD Smith Plumbing. Joining me now is really the head of the whole company. Lance thinks he's the boss, but it's really not. It's Jennifer. You're the proud mother of LD Smith Plumbing, whether you want the job or not. How much fun is it to see those 5-star reviews?
It is the best. We love to review those with the guys. To see their smiling faces and know that we have done such a good job in the field is just priceless. My goal is always to make their day a little bit easier. For any plumbing issue, it's ldsmithplumbing.com.
Neighborhoods are popping up everywhere, but if you want something different than what you're currently seeing, Joyner Homes, based out of Greenfield, can build you a unique, custom home on your own private lot or anywhere you can bring your own builder. They've built hundreds of homes across central Indiana. Visit Joyner Homes Model Homes or go to joynerhomes.com to see floor plans and pricing and more. With Joyner Homes, you can even start from scratch if you want. Check out their 5-star Google reviews and visit joynerhomes.com.
It takes everyone in the community working together to create a brighter future. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Visit liveunited.org to learn how you can help.
Broadcasting from the Technology Recycler Studios, this is Indy's Mobile News, 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. The news starts now.
Another review of the Afghanistan withdrawal. On Lisa Brady, Fox News. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth ordering a comprehensive investigation of the 2021 pullout of U.S. troops, the fourth major review.
Assistant Defense Secretary for Public Affairs Sean Parnell will convene a special review panel. Hegseth says the panel will analyze the decision-making that led to one of America's darkest and deadliest international moments.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House during the Kabul airport evacuation, a suicide bombing killed 13 U.S. service members and scores of Afghan civilians. The president and defense chief about to announce Pentagon recommendations for a new missile defense system known as Golden Dome. Earlier, President Trump visiting Capitol Hill for a closed-door meeting with House Republicans.
We're on the verge of making history here, and everybody feels it. In that room today with President Trump, it was filled with standing ovations and high energy and high excitement.
House Speaker Mike Johnson trying to get the president's agenda to the floor, but some Republicans want changes in a bill Democrats say will cost millions of Americans Medicaid benefits. A Democratic congresswoman from New Jersey is due in court tomorrow facing federal charges over a recent confrontation with ICE agents.
Representative LaMonica McIver refused to make a plea deal, saying she won't confess to something she didn't do. Outside the ICE facility in Newark, the city's mayor, Ross Baraka, was arrested. An acting U.S. attorney for New Jersey, Alina Habba, said McIver assaulted ICE officers. McIver told reporters Tuesday,
"It's political intimidation, and I'm looking forward to my day in court."
The trespassing charge against Mayor Baraka, who seeks to be New Jersey's next governor, has been thrown out.
Fox's Gernal Scott. Video footage shows the congresswoman and other lawmakers surrounding the mayor, apparently trying to prevent his arrest. She accuses federal officers of escalation. On Wall Street, the Dow down 114 at the bell. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
DNA evidence is responsible. Most of the rain is in the northern half of the state. You are getting some light rain in the Indy Metro. It's 64 on Monument Circle. I'm Chris Davis. Here's what's trending at 4:02. David Mark Kerner of Indianapolis now sits in the Allen County Jail. Police in Fort Wayne believe he's the man who in 1997 dragged a woman off a trail at Schoaf Park in the northeast part of Fort Wayne, where he lived then, held a knife to her, beat and raped her. Police say DNA evidence was collected, and in March of this year, 28 years later, they got a hit. Kerner was arrested Tuesday. The death of a child in Indianapolis. Her father arrested. John Herrick reports.
It was just after 11 o'clock Monday morning when police arrived to a home and found Zara Arnold unresponsive with injuries all over her body at the bottom of a flight of stairs. Later, she was pronounced dead. Zara was just 5 years old. Her father, Zachary, was interviewed by child abuse detectives and eventually taken into custody because they think he's the one responsible for her death.
A commitment to improve the IRS.
It's widely recognized that the IRS has long-standing challenges with outmoded technology, limited IT modernization, and, they're generally behind the curve.
Senator Todd Young asking in a roundabout way for a commitment to improve the technology and customer service at the IRS from Billy Long, former congressman from Missouri, picked to be the new IRS commissioner. That was in a Senate hearing Tuesday. The plant is in Cayuga. Shutting it down could cost you. Ryan Hedrick explained.
A state agency says Duke Energy's $5 billion plan to shut down part of the old coal plant and replace it with gas units could cost too much and drive up your power bill. The company says Indiana needs more electricity as it grows, but the state's utility watchdog says Duke hasn't done enough to explore cheaper options. They want regulators to reject the plan. If it goes forward, monthly bills could go up by nearly $20 a month. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You've got traffic and weather in 1 minute.
Your nose is for breathing. Your mouth is for eating. And if you're breathing through your mouth, it's not because your body wants to. It's because it has to, because your nose isn't working properly. And although you've lived like this, it's no way to live, and it's having a significant impact on your life. I know you know this, and I know that taking action isn't always convenient. But at Advent, we've done all we can to make changing your life for the better as easy as possible. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. With tens of thousands of our patients, a thorough nose and throat evaluation, along with the simple 20-minute in-office procedure called balloon sinuplasty, has opened their nasal passages, allowing them to breathe freely through their nose for good. And there's a good chance this procedure can do the same for you. We'll help you breathe through your nose again, and it will change your life.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
Traffic on 93 WIBC. Here's Matt Bear.
All right, Chris, downtown crash backing us up. It's southbound 6570 Washington. 2 right lanes closed, backed up through the north split. Onto southbound 65 back to 29th Street, and we are looking at a delay about 29 minutes to make it through all that. Westbound 70 also loaded from Sherman Drive into the north split, and that's going to be a delay of about 11 minutes as you make your way down to southbound 6570. Eastbound 70 stop and go from Belmont into the south split, a 5-minute delay. East side southbound 465 slowing down before 70 to Brookville Road. Traffic sponsored by Speedway. Stop at Speedway and grab any size big golf for just 89 cents with Speedy Rewards. Summer is calling. Valid through 6/24/25. See app for full terms. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Remain weather aware from 5 to 11 p.m. this afternoon and tonight, as there is a level 2 to 5 slight risk for severe storms. Winds the main hazard, but large hail and isolated tornadoes are also possible, as we'll track a cluster of showers and storms. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Chris Davis, on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it. My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is out. Hopefully the weather holds out for him and his kid down in Nashville tonight. He's going to see AC/DC.
Oh, cool.
Down there. And, man, I got serious FOMO for that one, because I don't know if AC/DC, they still got it. I talked to a guy on vacation that went to a gig in Gillette Stadium a couple of weeks ago. Said the energy was amazing with those guys. Another band that's in their 70s.
Yeah, I lived in Nashville for 5 years. So automatically I think to myself, concerts tonight, what's Hammer doing right now? My guess is he's at Tootsie's, up on stage, drunk, singing Mama Tried with a band who did not ask him to come up on stage.
He's probably having a few pops with his I think his son's of age. I think Christopher's 21.
Oh, they don't care. In Nashville, they don't care.
They don't care. Okay. But thanks for filling in, and thank you for filling in for me last week on vacation. It was the British Virgin Islands. St. Thomas.
Do we want to talk at all about where you were?
Well, nobody cares about where I was. No, people care about...
I think a lot of people would, but we can tease it till later.
I got a good lead-in for it.
Okay.
Because I got your message earlier. I didn't really understand it as to where I was vacationing. And again, nobody cares, but this news story kind of ties into it. Did you see FBI Director Kash Patel and his deputy, former Secret Service agent and radio personality podcaster Dan Bongino, total badass, okay? They are completely dismissing the conspiracy theory about the death of Jeffrey Epstein, and they are saying that this sex trafficker, this pervert, owner of Epstein Island, pedophile island, they're both saying he died by suicide. No question about it. Here they are with Maria Bartiromo. Sorry.
You said Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide. People don't believe it.
Well, I mean, listen, they have a right to their opinion, but as someone who has worked as a public defender, as a prosecutor, who's been in that prison system, who's been in the Metropolitan Detention Center, who's been in segregated housing, you know a suicide when you see one, and that's what that was.
He killed himself. You want me to? I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
That was FBI Director Kash Patel, followed by his deputy Dan Bongino, and the MAGA conspiracy theorists are in an uproar right now about the fact that both these guys, who I'm sure at one point had lots of questions about the way he died, and now no conspiracy here. Epstein committed suicide.
Well, Bongino was outspoken about this. He definitely did not commit suicide. So this is a lightning rod because it's one of those things where I remember online on Twitter a couple of years ago, I said, baseball's kind of boring. People went after me. It was like, oh, the worst thing I could ever say. This one right here, if you go after Cash or Bongino, some people get really upset because, and I understand it, you don't want to get stuck saying everything's a conspiracy theory. You have to be very careful about that. This one, from what I understand, if you the longer you go in that interview, they did say, based on the files that we were given, based on the information that we were given, who gave that to them? The last administration. So based on the files that they have now, Epstein definitely killed himself. I believe Cash went on to say, if more information comes to light, we will obviously look into that.
Oh, sure. There's always that.
Right. So
there's always that.
So
we still don't have the only two people in jail are Ghislaine Maxwell, his pimp. Basically, she would befriend these girls and fly them out to Pedo Island, and then I don't know that there's really anybody else that's in jail. I mean, we're the clients.
Well, are they going to use the same logic now for the Epstein list? Based on the information we received, we don't have the names of the people who committed these heinous crimes. So that's the danger right there, is that come on, man. We're going through this whole thing of, did Biden know about his cancer? Did they know about that?
I know. It's ridiculous.
I think did Jeffrey Epstein kill himself, or was he taken out? Well within our right to question that at this point.
Secondary to the client list, though.
Yes.
That is very important. I mean, I of course, I don't think he committed suicide. I don't think there's any way.
I don't think he did either.
I don't. I still have these guys these are Trump's guys.
Yeah.
That he installed. So
it's terrifying to watch people who you respect, say these answers that, listen, I understand that it's a game. I hope more information comes out to where they change their mind if there is more information. And to your point, I agree with you, Nigel, 100%. At the root of it, we care about the Epstein client list.
I'm trying to work it out in my head how I can say that I still like Cash Patel and Dan Bongino, but at the same time, I don't know that they're involved in anything nefarious by coming out and saying, no, we've seen the files, and yes, he did commit suicide. But do I still believe that? Like, I'm trying to work that pretzel out in my head.
Well, it's terrifying if there's people above them.
Well, sure, yes. That's a great point.
That turns you into that person. But can we segue really quick into your vacation? So let's use this story right here. And I texted Nigel. I said, hey.
Nobody cares about my vacation.
Well, let's see if people care about this. Nigel, what is one of the places that you went to on your vacation last week?
I went to the Virgin Islands. We stayed in St. Thomas, the Ritz-Carlton.
Okay.
This is with my wife's work.
Fun.
They got to bring a +1.
So far, everything's fine. Keep going.
There's also St. John there. St. John's there.
Plenty of islands. Yep.
Plenty of islands there. I wasn't able to go to some of the British Virgin Islands because I don't have my passport. But we went out to in the middle on a giant catamaran.
Oh, nice.
Went snorkeling one day, an excursion to see
sounds wonderful.
Sea turtles. Hadn't been snorkeling since I was a kid. Now, on our way back, the catamaran stopped, and the captain, she was badass too. I forget her name, but she stopped, and it was almost like it was a tourist attraction. It was like a pilot, 35,000 feet up in the air. If you look to your left, you can see the Grand Canyon down below. She stopped and said, "Can I have everybody's attention? These two islands you'll see on the right, one with the palm trees." Jeffrey Epstein's islands. These were known as the pedophile islands. It was almost she had stopped and acted like it was some sort of tourist attraction that people wanted to.
So the headline here, obviously, Nigel and his wife vacation last week on Epstein Island.
Now wait a minute, that is not where near the headline.
Oh,
I just stayed on St. Thomas at the Ritz. And we went out on an excursion, 2 different ones, and saw both the islands.
Can I suggest?
And I honestly, isn't it strange though that? Wouldn't you think that was strange if you're on this, you just got done snorkeling. You're down there drinking a drink, and the thing stops. We're on our way back to port, and this is Epstein Island. They sold it for $60 million, I believe.
Can you and your wife? Can I make a suggestion for your next vacation? Waco, Texas, and you guys can go on a driving tour and see where the Branch Davidians lived. That would be fun, romantic.
This is pissing me off. Yeah, I get random text while I'm on my vacation. From Jeff, who he doesn't even usually put hammer on these texts. I get a random text from Jeff and says, "Hey, could you just take a selfie of a picture of what you're doing now on your vacation?"
I did do that.
Which I found. What? Like I did it. I sent you a selfie, but then I started thinking, well, that's a strange thing to say. So if I knew you were away on vacation, I don't know that I'd text you and ask you for a selfie of what you were doing right now, then and there.
I would send it to you in a second. I'm worried that we're friends on air, but I want to be friends off air.
We are friends off the air.
Okay. Well,
I've never asked a friend for a selfie of what you're doing where and now when he was on vacation with his wife, though.
Well, I'm glad you didn't send me a selfie from Epstein Island while you were there with your wife.
I do think, again, a strange move from the captain to completely stop.
Yeah.
And say, if you look to your left, this is Epstein Island. They are going to tear part of it down and turn it into a golf course. And then the other part, they're going to turn into a small resort. So they were going to... the value, though, I think they were trying to sell both islands for $120 million. And they ended up getting both for $60.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
You can see how it devalues.
There's a little devaluation there, I think.
It's almost like you're in Milwaukee trying to sell a condo, and it's like, oh, by the way, Jeffrey Dahmer lived here. But, yeah, we're asking for $900,000.
Matt Bear in the WNBA Traffic Center.
All right, guys.
Odd way to sell an island.
You got to do what you got to do.
Odd way to sell a condo.
Hey, the market's rough. Looking at southbound 6570 crash at Washington Street, and that crash has cleared. Traffic's cleared out back to the north split. We are still slow on westbound 70 before Emerson Avenue to the south split, and inbound 65. Stop and go MLK to the north split. Eastbound 70 slow to the south split from Harding. That is a 5-minute delay. East side southbound 465 stop and go traffic from 70 down to Washington Street. Eastbound 465 stop and go from Keystone Avenue to Allisonville Road. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
We are all over the place today. I think we're going to do Is Anything next, but I want to play. I don't know where else I'm going to be able to play these clips of Graham Rahal last night.
Ooh, cool.
Because he was a flamethrower for Penske. Like he lit them on fire last night with our Tales from the Track event. So, do you guys want to hear those clips next during Is This Anything? Should we do that instead?
Sure.
Okay,
people are interested in the cheating scandal.
Yeah, they are. And Graham did not hold back. And if you haven't heard these clips, it's pretty crazy. So we'll do that next. 64 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center, that is. 93 WIBC.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Styling. Or possibility number 24, the latest software. Upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
In 6/22/25, new customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
Maintenance is going to drastically increase the efficiency and performance of your system. It's also going to significantly improve the longevity of it. People think that they are saving money by skipping their maintenance, and in reality, they're just shaving years off the life and increasing the consumption of that unit, spending a lot more in the long term.
Get your tune-up today at Family Heating and Air, your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Neighborhoods are popping up everywhere, but if you want something different than what you're currently seeing, Joyner Homes, based out of Greenfield, can build you a unique, custom home on your own private lot or anywhere you can bring your own builder. They've built hundreds of homes across central Indiana. Visit Joyner Homes Model Homes or go to joynerhomes.com to see floor plans and pricing and more. With Joyner Homes, you can even start from scratch if you want. Check out their 5-star Google reviews and visit joynerhomes.com.
Is your well water pressure low? Tasting a little off? A neglected well can lead to costly repairs, but C&J, the official water treatment sponsors of the Pacers and Fever, has you covered with their well cleanout service and 6-point inspection. It's the lowest price of the year, and C&J will even throw in a free well cap to keep out the critters and crud from messing up your well. Your family deserves the purest, safest water straight from your own well. Schedule your well cleanout with C&J. Great systems and great people, too. 317-852-WELL.
I was driving to my sister's house, and it happened just like that. The guy apparently had been on the phone and just wasn't paying attention. I got 2 bars and 6 screws in my neck now. For the 6-day hospital stay and the 2 surgeries was over $300,000. I just had my husband call Hensley right away. They took care of everything. It definitely happens. So just hire Hensley.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to save.
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
From military life to a rewarding career in IT, kickstart your new journey in a matter of months in the fields of IT and cybersecurity, including AI. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including VA benefits.
Heat and cool with nearly geothermal efficiency in places you can't fit ductwork with Mitsubishi Electric Ductless Mini Splits.
Just go to AbsoluteComfort.org. That's AbsoluteComfort.org.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Absolute Comfort, your American Standard Mitsubishi Electric Ductless Mini Splits dealer.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
And we're brought to you by Indiana Unclaimed, a program presented by the Attorney General's office here in Indiana. The Attorney General's office reuniting Hoosiers with over $1 million in unclaimed property every single week. See if you got any money floating around out there. It's fast, it's easy, it's free. IndianaUnclaimed.gov. Jeff Boggs, my man, you can find him on social media at NotKennyRogers. Longtime writer for David Letterman, filling in for Jason Hammer. Last night, Hammer and I were broadcasting live from the Ray Hall Performance Center for Tales from the Track, presented by Relay Indiana. Longtime partners Jack Daniels was there, and we got Graham Rahal on stage. Chatted with him for about an hour, took audience questions. There was lots of Jack Daniels. There was lots of food, and that facility over there in Zionsville is amazing. But one of the first things we talked to him about was the scandal that broke yesterday that Team Penske, Joseph Newgarden, Will Power included, they all failed their tech inspection, and they now will be starting at the back of the at the back row.
And
Indy 500, like
Team Penske, right?
Team Penske, yes.
And Penske owns the Speedway.
They own the Speedway.
Interesting.
And so, like, we were wondering, should we open? And me and Hammer were kind of wondering if we should open up the interview with this. As a guy, Graham Rahal, such a good guy, such a good dude. His team, his car, sometimes it just needs work, man. It's not the best. And I want to see him do well, and I want to know how a guy that usually starts in the back feels about guys that have won twice in a row now caught cheating. Here is I believe is one of the first questions Hammer asked. Go ahead.
Is it too soon? I'm sorry.
It's not too soon. There's quite a lot of frustration running around right now. You guys probably know that. And the problem with this entire thing, and I don't want to just bury them, because the reality is what they were caught for is so minuscule, we all think. But that's the issue with it. If you're going to cheat with something like that, so blatant and so obvious and so in front of everybody's eyes, what are you doing with the rest of the car that we can't see? I mean, that's the questions that have to be asked, because like what they got caught with, in my opinion, I think in most opinion, is it's stupid, to be honest. But it's clearly against the rule. For some reason, every other team can follow that. But now the question is, so if you went to the museum today, you saw that the Indy 500 winning car from last year was illegal, and every car that they've been putting on track has been illegal.
And so it gets better here. He continues, and then we're on stage talking to Graham Rahal in front of 200 people. Just a great fan experience there at the Rahal Performance Center. And I think there's a part where he basically chalks it up to it is what it is, and he made a point that, Jeff, that you just made.
Look, it is what it is, but I think it's massively disappointing. And I think that's why all the teams are very frustrated right now in the position that we're all in. You own the series, you own the track, you own a team, and you own the company that makes the Chevrolet engines. It's too much. It's
not the first time,
It's
Graham.
too concerning. Yet, not even in the last 13 months is it the first time. And so that's what I think really angers everybody. So it's not too soon. I think questions still need to be answered.
Not the first time, meaning what was it?
St. Petersburg, last April.
Push to pass?
Yeah, they were using turbo boost that other people weren't. Seems like a big deal, and the question, I guess, we'll compare this to the Patriots in a second, but the question is, if everyone's doing it, why is Team Penske the only one getting caught? And so it really does worry you. The optics of this are absolutely terrible. There is something kind of cool about it, though, because it's so ridiculous.
It's crazy.
I think of us through the 2000s with Peyton Manning and, the Patriots, the way that they would cheat and do those things, ball deflation. Did it affect the whole game? I don't know if it did, but the question is, what else were they doing? Now, this, what is it, the accentuator or whatever they're welding something onto something that is
I don't know what you call it.
Right, it's supposed to cut down on drag, and you're like, okay, maybe 0.0001 of a second, but what else is going on there? And I love that Graham was PO'd about it.
And the last clip I'll play here again. This is our interview with Graham Rahal in front of 200 people at the Tales from the Track last night. My question for Graham was, do you think that Joseph Newgarden and Will Power themselves knew what their mechanics, what their crew was doing? Were they in on it? Did they know about this?
He's way too proud of a human being to admit it, if he does know. And so you can take that for what it's worth and read into that however you want to read into it. I do believe that there's a lot of people in this business that, are full of integrity, and there are those that aren't. And, I don't know. I don't think that they're in the loop on every little thing. But when he cried to all of you guys at Barber last year and told you he didn't know the rules about push to pass on a restart, that's complete and utter bull. And I don't care. He's been in it. He's been in it as long as I have, or damn near, right? I think he came in early 2011, somewhere around there, and I was a few years before that. That rule has never changed.
Complete and utter BS.
It is.
Joseph Newgarden.
It almost seems like it'd be great if Penske just came out and said, I did not have sex with that illegally modified attenuator. And everybody would be like, wait a second, we've heard that before.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show. I love Exercise Inc. I love the fact that it is a different and unique way of working your body out, getting your muscles the physical activity they crave and need. And I have been with the program for years. I've lost weight. I've actually built muscle. I feel better. I look better. My clothes fit different. And the main reason I love Exercise Inc. is because it's a once-a-week strength training program that only lasts for 20 minutes. Now, don't get it twisted. It is a tough 20-minute workout. 5 or 6 exercises that only last about 3 minutes or so, and they work you out hard. So if you think you're too busy to exercise, if you think you're too busy to get healthy, think again. That's what I thought. That's what my wife thought. These are private studios, no mirrors, no music, just you and your coach, and they can also help you to take steps outside of the gym to change your health and lose weight and help you with your diet and eating habits and routines as well. 5 locations: Avon, Brownsburg, Greenwood, Zionsville, and now the new one in Fishers. ExerciseInc.com. ExerciseInc.com. Tell them Nigel sent you.
You probably have a dream retirement in mind, but do you know how to get there? The difference between dreaming and living your ideal retirement comes down to having the right plan. And that's where Howard Bailey Financial can help. At Howard Bailey Financial, we've created a free retirement toolkit to help you bridge the gap between where you are now and where you want to be. Text DREAM to 888-262-1104 to download your free retirement toolkit that includes a retirement checklist, Social Security decisions guide, estate planning guide, and more. We want your dream retirement to be your reality. And it starts by texting DREAM to 888-262-1104. Let us help you take the next step toward the retirement of your dreams. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
Will you be forced to buy an electric car? Light rain in Indianapolis and the metro right now, and northern Indiana is where most of the rain is concentrated this afternoon. The possibility you could get some strong storms still there for this evening and overnight. 64. Right now, I'm Chris Davis. Here's what's trending at 4:30. Republicans in Congress continuing their efforts toward chipping away at mandates and regulations put in place by the Biden administration. Senate Majority Leader John Thune spoke to the president today about Republicans in the Senate opposing the Biden California mandate,
which was an attempt by the Biden administration to impose a electric vehicle mandate across this country through the California Clean Air Act waiver.
Much of President Trump's time in office has been spent undoing Biden-era policies, including 19 executive orders that he rolled back in one day earlier this year. The president also meeting with a group of far-right Republican lawmakers today in an effort to unite them towards the big, beautiful bill. Fox's Chad Pergram in D.C.
Spellbinding. That's what Mark Amadei of Nevada said about the president's performance. But Freedom Caucus Chairman Andy Harris says he's not there yet. The president took swipes at 2 GOP factions during the meeting. He appears frustrated with the Freedom Caucus and GOP New York members pushing for SALT, That's the tax break for state and local taxes. Republicans could make tweaks to Medicaid work mandates and more spending cuts.
And the possibility of having peace talks between Russia and Ukraine at the Vatican. Fox's Jackie Heinrich reports.
The president said that having peace talks at the Vatican might yield a breakthrough. He cited the bitterness and the anger on both sides, but he also added that this was Pope Leo's idea.
If you'd like to have the talks at the Vatican, I can't think of a better place.
The Vatican reportedly offered to mediate talks between Russia and Ukraine previously under Pope Francis, but it never happened. Pope Leo posted online, quote, "The Holy See is willing to help enemies meet so they may look each other in the eye and so people may be given back the dignity they deserve, the dignity of peace. With heart in hand, I say to the leaders of nations, let us meet, let us dialogue, let us negotiate."
Traffic and weather in 1 minute.
You love spring and Indies, so don't spend it painting. Do what your neighbor Mike did. He called Rhino Shield.
Our home is basically a contemporary, and we just started noticing that the paint was just fading and just looked like garbage. We had received a postcard from Rhino Shield, and we decided to take a look at it.
Rhino Shield's formulated for our specific climate here in Indiana.
The process with Rhino Shield and their crew, they were just very conscientious. We had problems in the past with painters. They leave debris and everything. Well, we didn't have that with Rhino Shield.
Way better than paint, backed by a 25-year warranty. Right now, get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
The thing about Rhino Shield, the heat gain has been reduced, and we save $70 a month. You don't hear that about any type of paint.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Traffic on 93 WIBC. Here's Matt Bear.
Crash clear downtown Chris, southbound 6570 at Washington Street. Still stop-and-go traffic into the north split. Slow to rural on westbound 70. Inbound 65 slows MLK to Meridian Penn, a 6-minute delay. Eastbound 70 stop-and-go traffic Belmont into the south split, delayed 5 minutes. East side southbound 465 slow before 72 Washington. Northbound lanes drag from 70 past Penn Pike. Northwest side northbound 465 stop-and-go traffic 86th Street up to 865. Traffic sponsored by Indiana Donor Network. This may be a hero at the finish line. Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives remind you to say yes to organ donation the next time you're at the BMV. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Remain weather aware from 5 to 11 p.m. this afternoon and tonight, as there is a level 2 to 5 slight risk for severe storms. Winds the main hazard, but large hail and isolated tornadoes are also possible, as we'll track a cluster of showers and storms. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Chris Davis, on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
A couple of anniversaries in the entertainment industry. This date back in 93, the Cheers series finale happened. 90 million people watched. Coincidentally, unfortunately, George Wendt passing away today. Oof. I believe at the age of 77, died peacefully in his sleep. Norm passing away. Also, we have with us our guest, Jeffrey Boggs. Jeff Boggs, also known as Not Kenny Rogers on social media, one of the great classic social media followers. Here, a Hoosier, and you were a writer for David Letterman for a number of years. Tonight, wow, I cannot believe this happened 10 years ago. The 10th anniversary of the Letterman finale.
Unbelievable. Man, 10 years ago, I was in New York. Molly and I went to the wrap party. So we were all back, and everybody came back.
So you weren't writing for him at that point?
No, I'd been gone for years.
Okay.
But they invited everyone back, and we had a big party at the Friars Club in Midtown, and it got as ridiculous as you would think. And
did you talk to him? Did you get a chance? I mean, that's...
I got to talk to Paul. Got a great picture with Paul.
Yeah.
We look like a before and after picture. It's funny, but Dave was surrounded, there's a funny picture that I posted with you see me kind of in the background. You see Dave's inner circle, so I put a big red arrow pointing to my head, saying great to have some personal time with Dave. But man, that was a night, that rep party.
So he was 68 years old when he 68, 69 years old when he retired.
Yep.
And how does a kid from, go from, where did you go to school?
Well, grew up in the northeast side, of Indianapolis, went to Indiana University. I had a weird job. Remember the movie Blue Chips, the basketball movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, so while I was...
Shaq and Nick Nolte.
Those great actors, Shaq and Matt Nover. So when I was at IU, an old friend of mine was working at like a regional ad agency, and they were like, "Can you help us promote the movie Blue Chips in the Indianapolis, Bloomington area?" I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, it's kind of simple. We love basketball, and the movie was shot somewhat around here."
I think so.
Yeah, so I did a pretty good job. They were very happy with me, and somehow I finagled it to where they flew me out to New York for the Blue Chips film junket.
Cool.
Yeah, that was the first time I'd been on an airplane, and all I could think about, it was cool going there. You got to meet Shaq. We got to go to a Knicks game. All I could think about was making my way to the Letterman show.
Yeah.
And I took a cab. It was a $7 cab ride, and that's about all I had. And
Was he still working for Channel 13? Or Channel 13?
No.
NBC? Or was this?
No,
was
this CBS.
days?
It was
Okay.
the first year that he was at CBS.
Wow, okay.
So
Yeah,
came
yeah,
around the corner, and you see that marquee, and it's like, whoa. So they weren't shooting that week. It's kind of like a vacation where the
Yeah.
Griswolds drive up, and I was like, oh. But Kendall, the security guard, was there. And I walked up, and I go, "Hey, I got a question. I'm in college. How do I work here?" And he started laughing, and he goes, "Tell you what, you put together a resume, hand it to me, I'll make sure they get it." And so I went to a Kinko's that was on Broadway, typed up a resume.
You typed up a resume at Kinko's in Newark City? And gave it to-
3 blocks away on 57th and Broadway, typed it up. This is so embarrassing. Wrote a lame top 10 list of why you should hire me. Come to find out, 90% of the people do that. Anyway, went back, gave it
He
to Kendall.
hated those top 10 lists towards the end, I bet, anyway.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Gave it to Kendall, and he goes, "I'll make sure they get this." Thought nothing of it. It's like, okay, well, at least I got to meet the security guard from Letterman, and flew back, went back to school, and about 2 months later, I was working at Shell gas station in Castleton.
Yeah.
Way to go, Shell. And got home thinking, what am I going to do with my life? And my mom goes, "Hey, somebody named Teresa Gavigan from The Late Show with David Letterman called." And I'm like, what? And they received my resume. And I called them back, and they said, "Any chance that you can be out here next week for an interview?" To them, that seemed like a normal thing. To me, it's like, what? I have to buy an airline ticket? So my parents helped me out. Thank them quite a bit.
Wow.
Flew out the following week for an interview. It was 95 degrees in New York City. I had a thick black suit. And
Just a wool, like cotton.
it was horrible.
Awful.
Walked from Grand Central Station all the way up Broadway, changed in a Roy Rogers bathroom into the thick black suit, had flop sweat like you would not believe. Walked back in.
Roy Rogers bathroom.
Walked back in, and Kendall, the security guard, was like, "Hey, congrats, I remember you." They called the woman, Teresa Gavigan, down to get me, and she saw my face, and she goes, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." Went up to the Late Show studios, had the interview, somehow got hired as an intern at the Late Show. So that was insane.
How did you survive as an intern? Were you making, was it a paid internship?
It was a non-paid internship for 3 credits.
Okay.
And,
okay, for school.
A gentleman named Jay Potashnik, he had rich parents, and he said, "You can sleep on my couch." And I slept on the guy's couch for 4 months, all through the fall, while I interned at Letterman. And on the weekends, somebody reached out and said, "Do you want to log football games for ABC Sports? You get $100 a day plus 2 meals." I was like, Yahtzee. And guess what? I was the Indiana football logger. So
what does that mean, log?
You just write down every play. It's a big room with the headquarters, and I'm just like grabbing sandwiches. Nobody cares about Indiana football at the time, so I'm writing stuff down.
That's perfect.
Got $100 cash. And so that's how I was able to survive, and then eating the green room cookies at the show. Finished the internship. It was the most incredible experience when you're 21 years old.
Just briefly, what were you doing as an intern?
Everything. You ran around. Paul left his glasses down in the studio. I'll get them. Writing things on the boards, the guests coming up.
Did you meet Dave?
Oh, yeah. I was in a couple
as
bits.
An intern.
Yeah, I was the goober who would always wear IU shirts and Pacer shirts. Not because I was trying to get his attention. It's just
that's your
all
wardrobe.
That's all the clothes I had at the time. So I'm walking through, and people are like, "Suck up," and I'm like, "No, look how old this Pacer shirt is." Finished the internship. It was incredible. Got the cool Late Show jacket.
Wow.
That was the gift for all the interns. Went to the Christmas party at Wallman Rink.
Yeah.
Came back to Indiana to finish college.
And then you were like, now what?
I was like, I don't know what I'll do. And then lo and behold, right at the end of senior year, they called and said, hey, do you want to come out and train the new batch of interns for the summer? A paid 2-week gig. And I'm like, yes, that sounds awesome. And so they paid for the
Get
flight.
your foot in the door and you're in.
And they set it up to where Mia Farrow's son, Otto Preminger's son, was an intern at the Late Show.
Sure.
He had the sweetest apartment in Midtown, and he was going to be gone for those 2 weeks. So they're like, do you want to stay in, the rich kid's apartment? I'm like, okay. Like, this is too good. Trained the interns for 2 weeks. Fun time. Some friends flew out, went a little crazy, had great times. And then the last day that I'm training, I'm getting ready to go back again. And the girl who answers the phones on the talent floor had just announced she's taking a job at the Jenny Jones Show in Chicago. And Mary Connolly, Chris Connolly's sister, she was a segment producer at Letterman.
Okay.
She called me up and she goes, hey, you interested in that job? And I was like, answering the talent floor phones? And she goes, yeah. I was like, yeah, of course. Did a quick interview. Flew back to Indianapolis, and they called a week later and said, we'd love to have you come back and join the staff answering phones for the talent floor. So I did that. Kind of ruffled some fat. I mean, I had to leave quickly.
Yeah.
It's tough telling your girlfriend, hey, I'm moving to New York.
Yeah, and plus the Shell gas station gig.
And the people at Shell gas station, Frank Golob, God rest his soul, he goes, go, young man. You've earned this. So flew to New York and, worked my way up, basically. I started on the talent floor, answering phones. You never know who would call. One time it would be Bruce Springsteen. One time it would be Bruce Willis, or you have to buzz.
Who do you patch Bruce Willis to?
To the segment producers. They do the pre-interviews before their thing. So you never know what's going to happen. And I had to make sure there were fresh cookies in the green room all the time. That was your show responsibilities. So, did that for about 7 months and realized that was not for me. I was like, I love it.
What am I doing?
It was just
here? Where were you living?
It was a little in Hoboken.
Okay.
Had a roommate, Derek. We rented a place in Union City up the hill, and then one Saturday morning, the knock at the door goes, "You got to move out today," and we're still not sure why, but moved into an apartment in Hoboken above a bar. Where a guy played Wonderwall by Oasis every night 3 times.
It's classic. It's a must.
And so finally I was like, I can't do this talent thing. It's not really what I want to do with my life. The executive producer, Rob Burnett, was nice enough to say, we'll move you up to the writer's floor. You can answer phones there. And that was a pretty life-changing thing, and got up on the writer's floor. Then
you got to see how the fudge was made.
Well, then you realize you're just like, wow, there's 12 people who write jokes. And that's what they do.
I don't know why I chose fudge for that analogy, but
that's all right.
Go ahead.
A bit hacky.
Yeah.
So I was up there, and John Beckerman, the head writer, after 6 months, I never asked to write a joke. I was just like, I'm intimidated. These are big names. Louis C.K.'s there, Spike Ferenctin, Carter and Craig, who created How I Met Your Mother, Will Forte. We're all about the same age, though. And so it was fun. We would all go out for drinks. It was crazy. Never asked if I could write a joke. And finally, we're at McGee's Bar, which was the basis for the How I Met Your Mother bar. We're at McGee's Bar on a Thursday night. I said to our head writer, John Beckerman, I go, would you mind? I may have had a couple drinks. I go, would you mind if I ever just submitted a top 10 joke or something? He goes, Boggsy, of course. We've been waiting for the,
Why would you ask earlier? You should have asked the first day.
Exactly. But I think it was smart to wait. And then a week later, there was some Pope top 10 list. And I just, put it in the door and walked away sheepishly. And it was a Van Halen top 10 list. It was.
Do you remember what yours was? Do you remember what it was?
It was top 10 things the Pope wished for on something. And it was number 3 was he wishes that Van Halen would put aside their differences and keep cranking out those bitchin' tunes. And when Dave read that, it's like a drug. It was like a drug. You're like, I can't believe my idol just read something that I wrote.
Unbelievable.
And so from there, it just kind of, I
skyrocketed.
Got more and more on, and it was crazy.
So, and the reason I love this story, what a great story. 10th anniversary of the Letterman finale happened 10 years ago tonight. So,
crazy.
and then it was Everlong Foo Fighters.
Well, if there's a very famous 8-minute long clip to end the show. I'm in it 3 times. I'm in it 3 times. Once as a bunny sitting next to John Goodman.
You got to look real quick in that.
It's very quick, yeah. Once as a bunny. I was also another lead bunny in a coffee shop, and then me pitching to Dave at Yankee Stadium. I was on the show 53 times, so it was great.
Cool story, man. Thank you for sharing. Again, 10th anniversary of the Letterman finale tonight. My name is Nigel. That's Jeff Boggs filling in for Hammer. We'll be back.
Hey, it's Matt Bear for Trajan Wealth. May has me thinking, okay, the month of May. How do you afford to celebrate May in the race after retirement? Where does the income come from? Trajan Wealth, the fiduciary advisors, will help you plan for future 500s with a portfolio tailored to your retirement dreams. Call and find out how. Your first appointment is free. 317-480-4040 to schedule or visit TrajanWealth.com. Call today. When you meet with Trajan, they get to know you, learn about your goals for money management, then collaborate with you in designing a portfolio that's for you, your timeline, your risk management, and what's best for you and your family and future. Call today to learn more. Meet the team, 317-480-4040, or visit TrajanWealth.com. Remember, your first appointment is on them. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Paid advertisement.
Citizens, since we each upgraded to Xfinity in our homes, the Wi-Fi has been booming. It's fair to say our town has officially become a boomtown.
Mayor, will I be able to drop into multiplayer gaming battles with low lag?
The lag won't be an issue, but your questionable skills may be.
And what if I have hundreds of devices on the Wi-Fi? Purely hypothetical.
Seems like a lot, but sure, hundreds of devices all booming together with the Xfinity Gateway. Yes, friends and neighbors, with Xfinity, the Wi-Fi is booming.
The Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Now get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best-in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed. All in. Plus, get unlimited data included and no annual contract. All with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with XFi Complete required for unlimited data except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
Hey, this is Denny Smith for LD Smith Plumbing. Lance Smith joins me right now. No, we're not related, but I'd be proud to call him my son, my uncle, my cousin, whatever. Lance, welcome to the studio.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right, sump pumps, they're coming up. You guys, it's probably time to get your sump pump special. You brag on this every year.
Yep, it's a real deal. Free primary sump pump with the purchase of a battery backup system. Simple as that. No hidden labor fees or anything like that. 317-927-7186 or ldsmithplumbing.com.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Bluebell Groom's Cake Ice Cream is renewing its vows on the frozen aisle. Milk chocolate ice cream with chocolate cake pieces, chocolate-coated strawberry hearts, swirls of strawberry sauce, and chocolate icing. See you at the reception.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell Ice Cream at your local grocer and pick up your favorite flavor today.
Heat and cool places where ductwork won't fit using Mitsubishi electric ductless mini splits. You can even wrap them to match your decor.
Find out more at absolutecomfort.org.
The Attorney General's office wants to put your money back in your pocket. Visit indianaunclaimed.gov and search for yourself, your loved ones, or your business. It's fast, easy, and free.
This May, be a hero at the finish line. Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives remind you to say yes to organ donation the next time you're at the BMV.
Big stories locally, big moves in Washington. WIBC.com keeps you updated throughout the day with all the news that matters, plus traffic, weather, and more on your phone, your laptop, wherever you are. It's news when you need it.
Matt Bear, what's going on?
What's happening, Nigel? Looking at the northwest side, northbound 465, stop and go traffic 79 to 865. Peel off east, and we're slow before Michigan Road to Ditch. Eastbound 465, slow from Keystone to the White River. Inbound 65, 7-minute delay, MLK to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70 slows from Holt Road into the South Split. That's an 8-minute delay. Crash on the west side. This is Lyndhurst Drive, north of Crawfordsville Road. We have a little bit of a blockage at the intersection right now. Be careful going through. Crash on the east side, Rural Street at Newton Avenue. Crash on the far east side, 56th Street at German Church. Traffic sponsored by Indiana Donor Network. This May, you can be a hero at the finish line. Say yes to organ donation and talk to your family about your decision. A message from Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
66 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. One of the cool things about the month of May is there's so much going on that we're mixing things up this month. This is probably the only month that this is going to happen, but we are airing a Fever game tonight. Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark and the Fever taking on, I believe, the Atlanta Dream here at home, Gainbridge Fieldhouse, starting, I believe, pregame with Eddie Garrison starts at 6:45 tonight right here on 93 WIBC. Coming up after 5 o'clock, Trump has a little suggestion about the diagnosis of one Mr. Joe Biden. We'll talk about that next. State expert, only guy I'd trust, only team I'd trust to sell my home and find me a new one. How about Kevin and Angela in Greenwood? Here's what they had to say. Their big home was too much, and it was time for Dad to move into a maintenance-free community, but we needed cash from the home to fund the change. They reached out to Mark Deedle. He helped them with an entire process, from selling belongings to prepping the home for max value. Went on the market, sold for $5,000 over asking price in less than 7 days.
Mark Deedle guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. That's right, he will buy it. Pick your move date, no long-term contracts. You can cancel at any time. Mark Deedle makes this easy. All you have to do is reach out to him. Call him right now, 317-755-4232, or go to markdeedle.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdeedle.com.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But D.C. politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
I'm Dennis Reinbold for Dryer & Reinbold BMW, Infiniti, and Mini at I-465 in Keystone, and Dryer & Reinbold BMW, Infiniti, Subaru, and Volkswagen at US 31 South in Greenwood. For 56 years, we've been working hard to earn your continued business and grow within our communities we support. That's why we offer competitive lease or purchase options and same-day service appointments for your convenience. See all our great selection of new quality pre-owned vehicles at dryreinbold.com.
Guys, don't waste time and money with low-quality online TRT that charges you over $100 just to start. Visit the TRT experts at the Low T Center for a free consultation and a free test. Treatment is personalized to your body, and most major insurances accept it. Looking to lose weight? Get a free B12 shot when you start prescription treatment right now at the Low T Center. Offer is limited, but book right now. FixMyLowT.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, you're the Carfax guy.
The Carfox from Carfax.
Wow.
And you, sir, work at Tire Discounters.
I sure do.
The Carfax top-rated service center.
Oh, right. You know, a lot of that's because of our services. But people think we're just about tires.
Maybe it's your name.
Yeah?
Tire Discounters. And your jingle.
Oh, you like it?
I think it needs something.
Yeah? Like what?
Hit it. Plus brakes, oil changes, shocks, and struts, and more. Now that speaks to me.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
Broadcasting from the Technology Recycler Studios, this is Indy's Mobile News, 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. The news starts now.
Capitol Hill meeting on the so-called Big Beautiful Bill that would advance his agenda.
It's the biggest tax reduction in history, biggest regulation reduction in history. Incredible for Medicaid, Medicare. The only thing, we're going to leave it exactly as it was, other than for obviously waste, fraud, and abuse.
Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer.
Trump can meet with House Republicans as many times as he likes, but it doesn't change the facts. This bill kills jobs, explodes the deficit, and overwhelmingly helps the rich.
The bill would make permanent the 2017 tax cuts. Some Republican lawmakers still pushing for changes in the current proposal, which the House Speaker hopes to get to the floor this week. The president and defense chief just unveiling the proposed Golden Dome missile defense system.
Once fully constructed, the Golden Dome will be capable of intercepting missiles, even if they are launched from other sides of the world, and even if they're launched from space.
He says it would be made in America with $25 billion from next year's defense budget set aside, but the Congressional Budget Office says it could cost up to $500 billion over 20 years. The president also just telling reporters he is not worried about reports of a Russian military buildup near Finland. Just getting word actor George Wendt has died, best known as Norm.
Afternoon, everybody.
The beloved barfly on TV's long-running hit Cheers.
Hey, what's happening, Norm? It's a dog-eat-dog world, Sammy, and I'm wearing milk-bone underwear.
He earned 6 consecutive Emmy nominations for playing Norm, but also had a long career of other TV roles and on stage. His family says he died early today, peacefully in his sleep at home. George Wendt was 76. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A young girl dead, a father under arrest. Parts of Indiana now under a tornado watch. Those are the western counties. That watch issued until 8 o'clock tonight. It stretches as far eastward as Crawfordsville. Right now, light rain, but strong to severe storms are possible this evening and overnight. It's 64 on Monument Circle. I'm Chris Davis. Here's what's trending at 5:02. The arrest of 41-year-old Zachary Arnold came after detectives questioned him and family members, finding that he had threatened to hurt his 5-year-old daughter, Zara, according to Indy Metro Police. That was after a fight with his ex-wife. Monday morning around 11, Zara was found dead with blood on her shirt and bruises on her body at the bottom of a stairway at their house on LaSalle Street. They might not be able to do anything about your back taxes, but the experience might be more pleasant.
As tax administration grows increasingly complex and digital transformation continues, you and I would expect, would agree the IRS needs to keep up.
Senator Todd Young talking to Billy Long in a Senate hearing Tuesday. Long is the former Missouri congressman who has been chosen as the next IRS commissioner.
My constituents, America's taxpayers, can't wait I mean, it's out of hand.
Young stressed improved customer service and updating technology in his questioning. All the grandstand seats and suites are sold out as of today for the 500. If you want to go, you can still get in by buying a wristband for the snake pit or a ticket for the infield. It's estimated now that 350,000 people will be at IMS. A publicly funded college may be pushing more than education on students, and Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith is telling people about it at a town hall. Ryan Hedrick reports.
Many of the people who came to question Beckwith in Ellettsville say they support the state using tax dollars to bankroll institutions like IU.
IU has not been fair and unbiased in their teaching, without a doubt.
Beckwith added,
I will stand on that every single day. They have pushed propaganda. They're pushing a woke agenda. Yes, they are.
Beckwith also said that he supports Governor Braun's new authority to appoint members to IU's Board of Trustees.
You've got traffic and weather in 1 minute.
If you love spring and Indy but hate to paint, do what Lynn did. She called Rhino Shield.
It is a single-wide manufactured home. We moved from our home, which we had the Rhino Shield on. Rhino Shield was what we were going to do. That was no question. We knew we were going to do it.
Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating. It's not paint, it's better.
The Rhino Shield representative came, and we discussed what we wanted done. And this time, we had the roof done as well.
Now, you can have the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
Even the people that have been a little younger than us have said they don't have to worry about getting just an everyday painter because Rhino Shield has the 25-year warranty, and we truly believe in this product.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Traffic on 93 WIBC. Here's Matt Bear.
All right, Chris, inbound 65 slow with a 7-minute delay. That's MLK down to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70 stop and go to downtown for the west side. That's Tibbs Avenue into the south split, a 9-minute delay. Northbound 69 north of Fisher slows down at 126th Street up to Brooks School Road. Inbound 69 slow from 96th Street down to 82nd. Northwest side northbound 465 full house from 86th Street to 865. Exit east, we will be slow from 865 over to Meridian US 31. Crash far east side 56th Street at German Church Road. Crash east side rural at Newton Avenue. Also a crash on the west side Lyndhurst Drive north of Crawfordsville Road. That's partial blockage in the intersection right now. Traffic sponsored by Staples Stores, your local Staples Stores. Hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. Save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Remain weather aware from 5 to 11 p.m. this afternoon and tonight, as there is a level 2 to 5 slight risk for severe storms. Winds the main hazard, but large hail and isolated tornadoes are also possible, as we'll track a cluster of showers and storms. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Chris Davis, on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos? So let's rock it.
Jeff Boggs filling in for Hammer. I'm Nigel. I could have sworn I just looked back on Fox News, there at the TV behind me, Jeff, and it said that the headline said that Biden hadn't had a prostate exam since 2014. Oh, did I see? I don't. I need to look more into that. Maybe if Allison wants to type that in or see if they can find that or something. I can't believe that's possible. I would not believe.
Since 2014. So
Yeah.
11 years ago, the man's 83 right now. He wasn't
Right.
getting prostate exams throughout his 70s?
No, I couldn't imagine. I don't know why. I swear it said that, though. I get them every year, but I don't use the. I think there's two ways to get those. So anyway, Joe Biden's been diagnosed with prostate cancer. It's in his bones. It's got a 40% chance of survival, and the way I understood it, thank God I started going to the doctor when they weren't doing the digital test, the digital penetration. When I say digital, I mean finger, like a digit.
Yeah, we get it.
They insert it and they check your prostate.
I think we get it. I think everybody
you understand that.
Sure.
I could go more descriptive.
I think we got it. Yeah.
But there's also a blood test, like some sort of like a PSA or something like that. And so that's what my doctor gives me every year, PSA. And if those levels are off in any way, shape, or form, I don't know what levels they are, if it's blood or whatever, then they can go for a more evasive thing. So I just don't believe any of this stuff they lied to us about, and they're admitting it now. They're freely admitting. When I say they, I mean the corporate legacy media, including Jake Tapper, who's writing a book. The guy that from CNN that defended Sharp's attack, very, he has all his wits about him kind of guy, always defending Joe Biden, is now writing a book saying the complete opposite. And if they're lying to us about that, what else are they lying to us about?
It's just a snowball effect at this point. You're hearing this. The good thing is, I think more and more people are not believing it right away. 10 years ago when stuff like this came out, it took a little convincing. But I would say ever since the 2020 election, which hopefully the vast majority of us now realize was 100% rigged, when something like
You're
this...
not talking about voting machines and crap like that, are you?
Or 300,000 votes showing up at 3 a.m. in Milwaukee. That kind of thing. I mean, you'll never convince me that 2020 election was not rigged. But now when I see the Biden thing, and yes, you were correct, Nigel, they just had on the screen 2014 was his last prostate exam. Nobody believes it. Everybody knows exactly what went on. They wanted a puppet to be in office so that the real people could continue running. Kamala Harris was a DEI hire that kind of came back to bite him in the ass because they couldn't just put her in because she had no clue what she was doing.
Absolutely none.
And so now you're stuck with this. I would assume that they were treating him for the prostate cancer, which affected
his cognitive ability.
Of course.
Yeah, that hormone therapy, when you treat a certain whatever kind of prostate cancer he had, I don't know if there's any different types, but yeah, that affects your cognitive ability.
Sure, and I think back to that stupid Jimmy Kimmel fundraiser last year with Julia Roberts and George Clooney.
Yeah.
And we're finally, even George Clooney, after it was like, hey guys, this isn't going to work. This guy's not going to hold up. And so, this news, I mean, I know people debate, do we feel sorry for him? Do we this? He did some horrible things that horribly affected millions of people, telling people, shame on you for not getting these vaccines that went horribly wrong. I don't have the sympathy for him, but the one thing I do know is that I won't believe a word that comes out of their mouth moving forward.
Here is Donald Trump suggesting the diagnosis was some sort of cover-up.
I think that if you take a look, it's the same doctor that said that Joe was cognitively fine. There was nothing wrong with him. Well, he said, if it's the same doctor, he said there was nothing wrong there, and that's being proven to be a sad situation. And the auto pen is becoming a very big deal. The auto pen is becoming a big deal because it seems like that maybe was the president who ever operated the auto pen. But when they say that was not good, they also, you have to look and you have to say that the test was not so good either. In other words, there are things going on that the public wasn't informed, and I think somebody's going to have to speak to his doctor, if it's the same, or even if it's two separate doctors. Why wasn't the cognitive ability, why wasn't that discussed? And I think the doctor said he's just fine, and it's turned out.
This is so funny. I'm reading, so Jake Tapper's got this book out. Jake Tapper from CNN has got this book out talking about the controversy surrounding the mental decline of Joe Biden. And now, we all saw it. We all knew it. We all know what's going on. Here's the cover-up. But during I'm just going to read this here. During an interview with NPR released Monday, CNN host Jake Tapper stated, quote, "We had all seen the evidence of the decline from President Joe Biden, but his team told us everything was fine. Quote, I wish I had been more aggressive. Tapper stated that during the debate while communicating with the people in the control room. I wrote, holy smokes, like during that first rambling, awful non-answer where he said, we finally beat Medicare. I mean, I'm just saying you can't trust a thing that comes out of these people's mouths. And anybody, Nobody better on cable news TV pointing that out than Scott Jennings from CNN, the Republican on CNN, and all these panels that they have. They have Scott Jennings and then like 5 Democrats all yelling Trump, and it's funny that he keeps trying to talk about the story is Joe Biden, the story is the cover up, the story is this, and they keep bringing it back to Trump. Listen to this clip here.
Are you arguing that Joe Biden was fine during his
I'm not arguing that he was fine. I'm arguing that
you keep pivoting back to Trump, who's clearly fine. I'm just asking you if you're arguing that something was not wrong with Joe Biden.
I'm so glad you asked that question because Joe Biden is no longer the president.
But he was, and that's the story tonight.
Stop. Let me finish what I'm saying. Let me finish something. Donald Trump is the president of the United States. I would dearly love to see a cognitive test from him because as somebody who's lived in the New York media market for the last 40 years, I can tell you that the Donald Trump that I knew in the 80s is not the Donald Trump that I hear today.
So your answer to the cover-up is Trump.
My answer is...
Your answer to every question is Trump.
My answer is the
cover-up is the story tonight.
The president...
That's the story.
Yes, the cover-up is also the president of the United States, who happens to be Donald J. Trump today, is not... Yeah, you could laugh all you want.
I am definitely laughing.
You know what?
So that's her big gotcha moment is 4 decades later, Trump's a little different?
Right. Gotcha. Exactly. And notice how the story was about Joe Biden and the cover-up and what people knew when and where. And she kept this, whoever that idiot, that talking head was, kept bringing it back to Trump. But the story's Joe Biden. No, but Trump 40 years ago. He's changed.
It just all comes down to money. All of these people, Jake Tapper, and there's a lot of conservatives who do this too. It's money. If they say the wrong thing, if they don't toe the company line, they lose access.
Sure.
They lose followers on social media. And so, after the fact, they can come out and say, well, we knew. But you didn't have the cojones, to do it when it really mattered. So forget them.
And then you have Joe Biden back in the 2021, a pandemic of the unvaccinated, lecturing people on how to get vaccines, lecturing people about their health, when in truth he was not telling the American public and being honest. Well, now it's private. Now he doesn't have to tell us crap. But when you're president of the United States and you have prostate cancer, that's a big deal. You want to know that. And meanwhile, he's out there preaching and yelling at you about not getting the virus, or I'm sorry, not getting the vaccine that would supposedly cure the virus. It would prevent you from getting it and would prevent you from spreading it. All lies. The FDA has just pulled the recommendation for COVID shots for most Americans. In other words, look, if you're over 65, you can still get the jab. Because I don't know, that's the risk benefit reward is somehow there for people over 65. But if not, if you're under 65, the standard for approval will be the more strict standard of proven clinical benefits, which means it's a fancy way of saying, do they work?
Wow.
They're going to have to prove these things actually keep you out of the hospital, actually give you fewer symptoms, actually cause fewer deaths. And again, to put it in layman's terms, testing on mice won't be the standard anymore. And those studies, trust me, are never going to be conducted. This more stringent studies have to be conducted for people under 65 to get the jab now.
Yeah, let me
Can you believe that?
Let me shoehorn this in really quick. Scott Adams, the creator of Dilbert.
Yes.
Great social media follow. He announced yesterday, sadly, he has the same cancer as Joe Biden. He said he most likely will not live through the summer. So that kind of hit because I really liked the guy. And I watched him give the speech. One of the coolest things that Scott Adams did, he was a pro-vaxxer years ago.
Yeah.
He was a pro-vaxxer. He would mock those who didn't get it.
Talking about the COVID vaccine.
Yeah. And he changed his mind. He changed his mind and he said, you know what? Those people were right. This is ridiculous that we're forcing millions of people to get this unproven shot that could cause massive harm. So God bless him. Shout out to Scott Adams.
Did not know about that. Wow, that's amazing. Matt Bear, what's going on?
All right, Nigel, inbound 65, 5-minute delay. MLK to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70 delayed 7 minutes from Tibbs Avenue into the South Split. Greenwood, this is a crash. County Line Road just to the west of Emerson Avenue. Left lane closed. closed in both directions. I'm staying away from that. North of Fishers, northbound 69 slows before 126th Street up to Brooks School Road. Eastbound 465 stop and go traffic from Keystone Avenue past Allisonville Road. Northwest side, northbound 465 slow from 86 to 865 peel off east, and we are grinding out to Ditch Road. It's a crash on the far east side, 56 at German Church, crash east side, Rural Street at Newton Avenue, and a crash on the west side, Lyndhurst Drive, north of Crawfordsville Road. Traffic sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first, so what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
67 cloudy at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center, 93 WIBC.
Masters Heating and Cooling is ready to make sure you are cool and comfortable all summer long. They took great care of my system, and they can help you make sure that everything is ready to go to ensure a nice, comfortable summer and then a very comfortable winter. I've worked with their general manager, David, numerous times, and it has always been a pleasure. And right now, you can get $500 off a new AC system. And if you've worked with Masters before and you've spent more than $500 on AC repairs in the last year, you can apply that amount as a credit towards a new system as well. Masters Heating and Cooling makes it easy. They've got flexible financing options and 24/7 service, so no matter what your issue, Masters Heating and Cooling is right there to take care of you and your family. Give Masters Heating and Cooling a call. 317-567-9505. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. 317-567-9505. Or request service online at mastersindy.com. mastersindy.com. Employee pricing. That's right. At Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield, you can get employee pricing across a full lineup of your favorite trucks and SUVs. Their entire American inventory has been marked with employee pricing, so you pay what they pay on F-150s, on Super Duties, Explorers, all of them with employee pricing. And if you need something a little smaller but still want to be able to haul the crew and cargo around, the Edge is the perfect choice for you. And you'll definitely enjoy the excellent fuel economy. Plus, it's loaded with safety features. Get more to your door with Andy Moore Ford. Simply purchase your vehicle online and they'll deliver it to you. And if you need to sell or trade your current vehicle, the time has never been better. Andy Moore Ford will pay top dollar for your used vehicle, even if you don't buy from them. Employee pricing on all your favorite Fords are at Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield, 2713 East Main Street in Plainfield, or online at Andy Moore Ford, MOHR. I love Andy. AndyMooreFord.com.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Is your concrete sinking? Whether it's your driveway, sidewalk, or patio, those uneven surfaces are not just ugly, they're dangerous. That's where Indiana Foundation Service comes in, a groundworks company. They use state-of-the-art concrete lifting solutions to prevent tripping hazards. Schedule your free inspection at indianafoundation.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Comprehensive cancer care is not just about treating cancer. It's caring for the person behind the diagnosis. It's our team by your side to listen, connect, and encourage, and to celebrate every milestone together. Because at Franciscan Health, your journey is our journey. Your victory is our victory. Your hope and trust in us to provide extraordinary cancer care with the latest advancements, plus a little extra TLC, is our mission. Learn more at franciscanhealth.org/cancercare.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small, loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
If this is the year to build your custom dream home, Joyner Homes is ready to help make your dream come true. They offer the flexibility to build on your own lot, allowing you to build a home in the place you've always envisioned. A dedicated in-house team of experts will guide you through every step, offering unmatched personalization and flexibility. Joyner Homes provides clear and upfront pricing and floor plans to inspire you. There's no time like the present to get in touch with Joyner Homes to talk about your vision and learn more about their building process. Visit JoynerHomes.com.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead.
Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
The Attorney General's Unclaimed Property Division has over $800 million just waiting to be claimed. Text Hammer and Nigel to 46220 or visit indianaunclaimed.gov to claim yours today.
Zero Res. Get 3 rooms cleaning starting at just $129 plus $75 off air duct cleaning. 317-388-5141. Book online at zeroresindy.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Absolute Comfort, your American Standard Mitsubishi electric ductless mini splits dealer.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Oh, so James Comey, Lincoln Lion Comey, who took the... Can you help me explain again, Jeff Boggs? What? Because I was gone when this happened. He was walking peacefully along the beach, a romantic walk with his wife.
Yes, unlike you and your wife were at Epstein Island.
Yeah, right. Sure.
James Comey and his wife were walking on the beach. They came across some seashells that were arranged to say 8647, which to everyone else in the free world realizes it's saying, attack Donald Trump. 86, the old mob turn, drive him 8 miles out of town, put him 6 feet under. 47, Trump's the 47th president. So, he saw those, took a picture, thought it was cute. He's a grandpa who wears jeans and sweaters. And turns out people were upset by that, but not upset enough to arrest him. So that's where we're at.
Here is Comey, again, the former FBI director. Lincoln Lion Comey, the great lovers, Strzok and Page, and all their text messages, and McCabe, and blah, 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 blah. But Comey, here he is, because I think he's selling a book now. Yep. Is that what he said? He's selling a book, and he loves all this stuff. I think the Secret Service or the FBI paid a visit to him.
Well, yeah, they brought him in, and that was it. Slap on the wrist.
Go ahead with the clip there on MSNBC.
We were walking on the beach. We went to the beach to prepare for this week, which was the launch of my book, and to think about the book and to prepare to answer questions about it. And we were walking back towards the road, and we saw in the sand someone had arranged shells with numbers. And Patrice, my wife, said, "Why would someone put an address in the sand?" And I said, "I don't know." And we stood over it, and I said, "I think it's some kind of like political message." And she said, 86, when I was a server, she did a lot of work in restaurants, meant to remove an item from the menu when you ran out of ingredients. And I said, well, to me, as a kid, it always meant to leave a place, to ditch a place. I said, that's really clever. So then she said, you should take a picture of that. And I did. And I posted it on my Instagram account and thought nothing more of it until I heard through her that people were saying it was some sort of a call for assassination, which is crazy.
I don't think this is as big a deal as everybody's making it out to be.
Well, you and I disagree on
that. Because I'm with him. The first time I've even heard the term 86. Have you ever seen Leaving Las Vegas with Nicolas Cage?
Of course.
And he's at the bank, and he's trying to sign a check, but he's got the withdrawals and the shakes so bad that he's got a severance check, and he's gonna, before he moves to Vegas, right? He's going to get the check, but he can't sign it because he's shaking so bad. So he goes to the bar to liquor up, to get right, and the bartender, he's just a mess. And the bartender says, if you saw what you were doing to yourself, you got to just, you got to get control. Here's what happened next in that movie.
Please serve me today, and I'll never come in here again. If I do, you can 86 me.
Stop f***ing with me. I can 86 you anytime I want to.
Kick you out of the bar. That's what I took it as. I don't think this thing was anything. I really don't. I've always understood 86 to mean, let's 86 this joint. I'm going to 86 you. If you see me in here again, you can 86. I can 86 you anytime I want.
You know what it is?
Now, I don't like Comey. I'm not defending.
I know.
I don't like that guy. He's a sleazeball.
We're just sick of nothing happening to anybody. Honestly, I get your point. The bigger problem with Comey is that I'm sure those shells didn't arrange themselves. He didn't just happen upon them with his wife. I'm sure there are multiple pictures on his phone of his kids or his wife arranging them doing that creepy laugh that he did. And I guarantee those were deleted from his cell phone. And when the FBI talked to him, they were probably like, give us your cell phone or don't. And so what it is, Nigel, is there's a lot of us who are just sick of Hillary not going to prison for destroying emails.
Fair enough.
For all of these things that normal people would go to prison for. You see the woman who was sentenced to 2 years in federal prison for praying outside of an abortion clinic.
Yeah.
And when you see stuff like this, it's like we know nothing's going to happen to him. And so we talked about the Epstein files earlier, the Epstein list. We know nothing's going to happen.
Nothing's going to happen to the clients.
And we're just looking for somebody at some point to actually do something.
Here are the worst paying college degrees for early career annual income. Okay. I saw this today. I was like, man, these are bad. I didn't even graduate college. Did you end up graduating, IU?
I did.
Did you graduate?
I did, yeah.
With what?
Degree in sports communications.
Okay. Here are the worst paying college degrees for early career annual income. Foreign language, $40,000. I don't know what that means. Like you teach a foreign language?
Yeah, you're probably like a French major.
General social sciences, $41,000. Performing arts, $41,900. If you majored in anthropology, you get bumped up to $42,000 a year. Early childhood education, $42,000. Consumer sciences, $42,000. General education, $42,000. Social services, theology and religion, biological science, all $42,000.
Biological science, that sounds smart. That doesn't seem like it should be on there.
No, not at all.
I mean, general education, that one's pretty straightforward. Can you read? Can you write? And then below that is, can you imagine you went to college and got a degree in general education and you're making $42,000 a year and the dude who lived in the dorm room next to you majored in biological sciences and you're making the same amount of money? Gee.
Do you want to do caller roulette?
Oh, I would love to do caller roulette.
Tuesdays is when we usually do caller roulette. That's when, if you're a radio show, a talk radio show, you usually screen out the calls.
Yeah.
We figure out what they want to talk about. We get their name. We that's not how we do it this time. We just get their name. We put them on hold, tell them to be brief, don't cuss. If you'd like to be on caller roulette, if you want to talk about the 10-year anniversary of the finale of Letterman, which you were a part of, Jeff Boggs, 239-9393. If you want to talk about the death of George Wendt.
And did Allison have anything to do with it?
Did Allison have anything to do with the death of Norm from Cheers? 239-9393. If you disagree with me on James Comey and the placing of the rocks on the beach, 239-9393. We'll just get your name, and our only policy is to keep it brief, no cussing. 239-9393. Call now for caller roulette. Now let's take a look at the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The carjackers lose their freedom. Stronger storms building in from the west, and that has prompted the National Weather Service to issue a tornado watch for the western counties of Indiana as far east as Crawfordsville. That watch is in effect until 8 o'clock tonight, but that may be extended as those storms come on into Indiana. They are expected to pick up strength in the evening and overnight. Right now it's 64 on Monument Circle. I'm Chris Davis. Here's what's trending. 2 men in Indy each got a 17-year federal prison sentence this week. John Herrick on why.
Bryant Hoskins and Samuel Fancher committed 2 carjackings in less than a week back in May of last year. In one instance, they stole a Toyota RAV4 and punched the Uber driver in the head. They were both seen on video saying, "I told you we was going to get one. We got one." A few days later, they shot a female driver in the shoulder while robbing her of her luxury vehicle. She survived but had to be taken to a hospital. Both men pled guilty to several criminal charges.
I'm Bob Swirsky, sitting in for my brother Bill, who's still recovering from that dreadful heart attack.
Whether you knew him from Da Superfans or as Norm Peterson, George Wendt's comedic ventures came to an end this morning as he died in his sleep at home, according to family. Wendt was a native of the Windy City.
Home to a certain team which come January will run roughshod over the competition in Super Bowl 26, a team that is known as the Bears.
He was 76. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. back on Capitol Hill, where he faced Democrat opposition to his department's cuts to staff and medical research. Fox's Rich Edson is in D.C.
Democrats did agree with Kennedy on some issues, like addressing why it's much more expensive to buy certain drugs in the United States compared to the same medicine in other countries. RFK Jr. is also promising to examine ingredients in Americans' food.
Why do we allow highly processed foods in America?
That's a complicated question, but it's driven by profits.
Secretary Kennedy says Thursday he'll release the Make America Healthy Again Commission. That's a report that will examine chronic illnesses and deliver a plan to fight childhood diseases.
Traffic on 93 WIBC. Here's Matt Bear.
All right, Chris, inbound 65. Stop and go traffic after 29 to Meridian Penn. And eastbound 70 still slow to downtown from Harding into the south split. Northwest side, northbound 465. Stop and go traffic after 86th Street over to Michigan Road on eastbound. And then north of Fishers, it's at Fishers. Northbound 69. Stop and go traffic. State Road 37 up to 136th Street, Brook School Road. Crash on the far east side, East 56 at German Church. Crash in Greenwood. This is County Line Road to the west of Emerson Avenue. The left lane is blocked in both directions. Traffic sponsored by Grand Appliance. Secure low prices on brands like GE, Profile, Cafe, and more during the locked-in pricing sale at Grand Appliance. Visit grandappliance.com or your local Grand today. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Remain weather aware from 5 to 11 p.m. this afternoon and tonight, as there is a level 2 to 5 slight risk for severe storms. Winds the main hazard, but large hail and isolated tornadoes are also possible, as we'll track a cluster of showers and storms. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Chris Davis, on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
Buckle up. Anything can happen here.
Oh, hell yeah. Let it ride. Let it ride.
Hammer and Nigel present Caller Roulette.
Yeah, Jeff Boggs filling in for Hammer. My name is Nigel. Responsible radio shows screen their phone calls, not on Caller Roulette Tuesday. We just let them fly, let you talk about whatever. Allison, who do we have first?
We got Regular Jeff on the line.
Regular Jeff, my man. Welcome to the show. What's up?
Hello, Nigel.
Hello, buddy.
Hello, Jeff Boggs. Not
Hey.
Kenny Rogers.
Hey,
And
Regular
hello,
Jeff.
Allison, not Ashley.
Thank you.
Right. So last night I had a talk with my daughter, okay, about the execution of Richie, murderer of Officer Tony, bless his heart.
Yes.
And I'm not a Hammer that wants to dance like Jed Clampett of the, over his grave. But I discussed it with my 24-year-old daughter and said, Dad, you've taught me how to use a gun all my life. But she said, I'm going to be honest with you. If it came to that, I'll defend my life, but I don't think I could shoot anybody.
Oh.
And she said, not a perpetrator. She said, because I've already accepted Christ into my heart, and if I took his life, he would never have the chance to do it. And I bowed my head, and I speechless. Thanks for letting me win the tickets last week by being a call, and I'll see you Friday.
All right, Regular Jeff, just hitting us with the heavy stuff
like it.
right there.
I like it.
I'd rather be murdered, and maybe there's a possibility that my murderer will find Jesus someday afterwards and go to heaven.
Yeah, it's interesting because I remember the same line of thinking around the election a couple cycles ago with Trump. A lot of Christians were having a trouble kind of, squaring how to do this. And I saw a bunch of people posting online, it doesn't matter whether I vote or not. If I don't vote, God is still in control. I'm a Christian.
Okay.
And I would say to them, but he'll still be in control even if you do vote. So let's remember that.
Go ahead and vote.
So for Jeff, I think that it's the kind of thing to where I think it's great what your daughter said, and there are some issues with an execution. I think as a Christian, you have to is it? Listen, it happens in the Bible.
Oh, Hammer. Yeah, I mean,
we can't say
they condone it in the Bible,
right?
And Hammer would be doing cartwheels in here right now if he could.
And I understand it. I understand it. But as far as using a weapon to protect yourself, I think you can separate one from the other. And my goodness, if your dad taught you how to shoot, and somebody's coming after you, pull that trigger.
Yes. Don't waste any more time. Allison, who do we have next?
We got John.
Oh man, John, you are on Color Roulette. What's up?
Happy afternoon, guys.
Yeah, buddy.
Hey, I'm thinking that Joe Biden likely sold his soul to the devil, and the whole bout was cancer. Hopefully, it's retribution. Have a great night.
Have a great night.
We're on a religious kick here, aren't we?
Well,
is this selling your soul to the devil? I don't know if there's really such a thing.
It's
as that. I mean, it's just doing bad stuff.
No, we all do bad stuff.
We all do bad stuff. There's a way to get for peace and redemption and grace, but it's you sell your soul.
I think it's
a figure of speech.
I think it is too, and I think we've learned this throughout history. When you start to attribute horrible things happening to places, that hurricane wiped out that country or that city, that must mean they did bad things. But then stuff happens to people who didn't do bad things.
Right.
So I don't think I would attribute it to that, and just feel about it how you will.
Anybody else on Collar Roulette?
Oh, we got Brad next.
My man Brad, what's going on, buddy? Where are you at?
Hello, Nigel. Hello, other guy.
Yeah. Woohoo.
You want me to say crazy? I'll show you crazy.
Pulling out all the good ones.
Hey, so I'm going to lighten it up a little bit.
Sure. Okay. Line it up.
I'm going to say, I understand that Allison has a skeeter on her Peter.
Oh, jeez.
I've been trying to call for a week, and you guys won't answer.
I wonder why.
With this.
So Brad's a bit of a ladies' man.
So is
no, not really.
Are you asking, or
I
don't know what he wants.
During the whole episode of Skeeter on the Peter,
right? That's a song that Hammer taught us all, and for some reason I think it's really catchy, so I sing along. I do.
I'd never heard it. I'd never heard it before, and we had to change the lyrics for the show.
I've been singing. Yeah, we did have to change it. Yeah, you had to change it. Yeah, because it. Yeah. But anyway, I'm willing to help. If Allison needs it knocked off her.
All right,
there we go. Thanks for calling, Brad.
That was
thanks for lightening things up.
Brad sounds like a sounds like a keeper. You might write down that phone number that popped up there.
It's all gonna play a part in the Win a Date with Allison contest. It's gonna be
coming
great.
up.
Yes.
Oh.
Anyway, we got
man. Anybody
you want
else?
anybody else?
Sure.
Yes.
I don't. Okay. Jason's up next.
Jason, hello.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, buddy.
What up?
Hey, so I had a bunch of teachers when I went to North Putnam told me that I'd never amount to anything if I quit high school early. Well, I had a child at 17 years old, and I've raised a total of 7 kids.
Ooh.
All of them are upstanding citizens of the United States. They're great people. I have not raised one failure yet, and I make more money than my teacher ever thought about making, and I haven't went to high school since I was 17 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, this goes back. Jason's talking about a study about the worst paying college degrees for early career annual income. A lot of it was anthropology, performing arts, general education, all like in the mid 40s and stuff like that.
What did Jason? Is Jason still on?
Jason, you still on? I think we lost him.
I'd love to see.
I guess I should have asked him what he did for a living.
I bet he learned a trade early and has flourished with it.
I got it back.
I mean, Jason.
Yes.
What do you do for a living?
I am an auto mechanic.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Of course.
Good for you.
Hey, by the way, Justin is the best mailman in Brownsburg. He is also my mailman at my shop.
The official mailman of the Hammer and Nigel show. Yeah, tell him I said what's up.
I always tell him that he's the sexiest man in Brownsburg and also the most popular.
Go ahead and pimp out your shop. What's your auto shop?
Brownsburg Auto Center, #1 shop, 5 stars for one awesome reason.
Boom, baby.
I love it. I love it. You'll be next time I have a problem with the old Chrysler, the old man van, my Pacifica, I'm going to Brownsburg Auto for sure. Who else?
So you distracted me when I was getting this gentleman's name. So his name is Gasoline Alley somebody. So
Okay.
It's your turn.
Go ahead, Gasoline Alley.
I'm Gasoline Alley John. Everybody
John,
knows
okay.
me.
I'm sorry, John.
Everybody knows me.
That's
I love
okay. I'm John of Gasoline Alley. But anyway, I thank you. I enjoy your show very much.
Thank you.
I'm an old radio guy from, what was it, the phone call of the day WIBC had.
Yeah.
What was that? That was in the 60s.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Been with us for a long time. So what's up, Gasoline Alley?
Yeah, long-time listener.
Jay?
I hardly ever call.
Wait, is it Gasoline Alley John or John of Gasoline Alley?
John of Gasoline Alley. I'll finish it. Gasoline Alley tune-up. My father opened a garage down in Fountain Square in 1929. It was called Carburetor Exchange. And in 88, I opened a place over on the west side on Gasoline Alley Street where we did fuel injection repairs. So we had a carburetor shop for 80 years and a fuel injection shop for 35 years.
It's quite
but
the
I
family
didn't call
lineage.
about any of that.
No.
We're closed up. I'm an old, crippled auto mechanic. And but I called about Epstein. Listen, maybe the body in the morgue they did an autopsy on committed suicide. But what I would like to see is like a 5-year after the incident investigation of the wallets of everybody that worked there the night that he supposedly committed suicide.
Well, I think that's a good idea. Hey, John, while I have you on real quick, has anyone from Penske ever come into your shop and asked you to help them cheat?
Oh, gosh, we could talk about this for a long time. Yeah, they're all cheaters. I started out with Indy cars, and that was.
They're all cheaters. All right, my man. Thanks for calling.
John.
Anybody left? Should we call it?
We can take some blindly if you want.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Bad influence over here. Go ahead. You're on Caller Roulette.
Hey, I got a question for either Pat or Denny. I have these hydrangeas that are supposed to be blooming right now, and I don't know what's funny, but
hang up on this guy. Hang up on this idiot.
I love it.
We got the wrong show, sir. It's a home and garden show on Saturdays.
I heard Allison.
Yeah, she's the.
Hey, Nigel's really good about hydrangeas too.
Yeah,
what do you
so is
recommend?
my wife. All I know is hanging baskets. You got to water them every day. That's all I know.
Hanging baskets. Thank you. All right, boil her up.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Boil her up.
All right, one more. Hello, you're on Caller Roulette.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, I asked Jeff if he were, I'm from Castleton.
Ooh.
Asked him if he bought a 66 GTO off a guy that used to come into the Frank's gas station.
Oh, I love the fact that you just called him Frank. Frank Golub. Wasn't he the best guy in the world?
Yes, sir.
Is that your boss?
Oh, that was my boss.
The owner?
A Turkish gentleman, tall Turkish gentleman who, I'll give you a little story. When a good-looking woman came into Shell and she was out there on one of the gas stations, Frank, for some reason, would just call out liver, and all of us just loved him. He sponsored our Little League team at St. Albans.
Liver.
Never bought the GTO, but I did stand on the corner of 82nd and Bash dressed as Elvis to help Frank sell oil one time. And I love Frank Golub.
There's got to be a picture of that somewhere. Okay, we'll be right back. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Pat Sullivan here for the Michaelis Corporation. I'm here with Michaela to talk about water damage. Water damage at your home or business can come from heavy rains, broken or frozen pipes, and countless other ways. Michaela, if someone has a loss due to water, why should they call Michaelis?
Michaelis is a local, family-owned Indianapolis company with 39 years experience. We are manning the phones and ready to help 24/7, 365. Michaelis specializes in water damage restoration, is IICRC certified, and will restore your home or business to pre-loss condition or better.
I know a big part of getting back to normal is dealing with the insurance company. Can Michaelis help there?
Yes, Michaelis works through the entire process on your behalf to make it easy and give you peace of mind.
If you have water damage, call the Michaelis Corporation. Water, storms, fire, and mold, life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Text or call 844-FIXED-INDY. That's 844-FIXED-INDY. Make it Michaelis.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning. Owner Robert Kirby says advancements in heating and cooling have never been better, which adds to the importance of proper maintenance.
I love the technology. It's great. It's made everything more efficient, more comfortable. It's really advanced equipment, so the proper maintenance to keep this clean and running correctly, makes it easier on us and the homeowner, so your equipment lasts longer.
Just go to KirbyHeating.com. Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Spring showers might bring flowers, but they can also bring roof leaks. Strong winds, heavy rain can expose hidden damage, leading to costly water issues inside your home. And the longer you wait, the worse it gets. Water can seep into your attic, walls, and insulation, causing mold, rot, and expensive structural damage. The good news? Moss Roofing. They offer free inspections. Whether it's a small leak or a big roofing concern, their expert team will assess the damage and provide reliable, cost-effective solutions. With over 35 years of experience, Moss Roofing knows how to protect your home from the unpredictable spring weather. Don't wait for a minor drip to turn into a major repair. For top-notch roofing services, trust Moss Roofing to keep you dry this spring. For a job done right every single time, visit mossroofing.com. Call 317-747-3665. 317-747-3665 or go online to Moss Roofing. M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com. Tell them Tony Katz sent you.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Carb Day starts at Just Add Water Boats on South Franklin. We're going to be there from 6 to 9 a.m. Check out the huge selection of new and used boats and wave runners, snacks and drinks, plus accessory giveaways, including tubes and life jackets. Join us at Just Add Water Boats this Friday at 6 a.m. as we kick off Carb Day.
What if the next time you painted your home was the last time you painted your home?
Our home has had Rhino Shield for 10 years.
Rhino Shield. Call 888-RHINO-41. Don't paint, don't vinyl. Go Rhino.
Reach your fitness goals in 2025 with a 20-minute once-a-week program at Exercise Inc. 5 locations now in Fishers. Visit exerciseinc.com.
Rocket.com is a single, seamless home ownership platform to help you find, buy, sell, finance, and even refinance your home. Get started today at Rocket.com. Rocket, own the dream.
Heat and cool your man cave, attic, garage, or bonus room without adding ductwork with Mitsubishi Electric ductless mini splits.
To find out more, just go to absolutecomfort.org.
Politics, punchlines, and pure WIBC. The Mashup Podcast pulls the day's best moments from Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, Hammer and Nigel, and drops them in one place. New episodes each weekday. Search WIBC Mashup wherever you get your podcasts.
My man, Matt Bear. What's up?
Joe, looking at northbound 69 stop and go from 116th Street up to Brooks School Road. Eastbound 465 slow from Keystone Avenue to Allisonville Road. Inbound 65 slow 21st to the north, split, and on the south side, eastbound 465 stop and go traffic from Bluff Road past US 31. This is a crash on the east side. It is Rural Street at Newton Avenue, and a crash in Noblesville, State Road 32, west of Hazeldale, Little Chicago. Traffic sponsored by Indiana Donor Network. This May, you can be a hero at the finish line. Say yes to organ donation and talk to your family about your decision. A message from Indiana Donor Network and driven to save lives. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
67 cloudy at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Allison, a little mood music, please. If you're looking for a reason to pour a drink tonight, Cher's birthday, Jeff.
How exciting. Yes, Cher was born 136 years ago today in El Centro, California. So that happy birthday to Cher.
136 years ago today?
I did the math. Yeah, 136 years ago today. Do you remember when Cher had that big comeback with the song Believe.
Maybe.
Do you believe in love after love?
How old is she today, really, though? Is she still like 79
She's
or
got to be like
something?
78, 79. Listen, Cher goes back and forth. She says some really stupid things. You know, she got caught up in the politics, but then she all of a sudden tweets something like, we need to do something about all of these illegal immigrants in Los Angeles. And people are like, what do you know? Stop. So I think that she is an interesting, I don't know if she's an EGOT winner. Is she an Emmy, Grammy?
She win anything for Mask? Her role in Mask?
Well, Moonstruck. I thought
was it Moonstruck?
Moonstruck. I think she won Best Actress, possibly, or was nominated. But an incredibly talented woman. I wasn't familiar with her early stuff at all.
Happy 136th birthday to Cher.
Yeah.
All right, congratulations. Thank you, Cher. We'll be right back. Another hour of the Hammer and Nigel show next.
The health insurance pros, and a sincere thank you to our loyal customers for helping us to another record year. We recently saved a 62-year-old retiring couple over $800 monthly when compared to their COBRA offerings. We recently saved a family of 4 over $400 monthly when compared to their $7,500 deductible program on the ACA, and that's still Obamacare. We recently saved a small 4-man manufacturing company over $1,000 monthly and gave them better coverage. We feature coverage